Welcome back, everybody. We are starting with a week 6 replay review. I'm back here with Toady, and we also have a special guest, a familiar face, if you'd like to say hi.
Hi there, I'm Stormtide. Also, I just noticed we all have Pokemon avatars. That's kind of crazy.
True.
Mine won't show as a
makes
Pokemon
sense.
avatar on the stream, though, because it uses my regular Discord avatar.
Oh,
is a
true.
Diddy
You have like
Kong.
a profile Toady thing
Oh,
for
so you're a
Avon.
traitor. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You have the Diddy with the Capri Sun or whatever?
Yeah, that's also a Toady
Yeah.
original. I made that graphic, and I've seen it pop up in places now. I
Yep.
made it so that I probably shouldn't call it the Diddy Cord anymore, because that sounds a lot worse. But it was like the Smash Bros. Like Diddy Kong mains server. I made a bunch of emotes for them, and then they've kind of scattered to the wind.
Oh, good.
It's gone like the wind. Well, we're back with a season 6, week 6 replay review, as I mentioned. And I think, without further ado, we can probably get right into it. We had a lot of submissions this week, I believe. Let me double check how many we had, because we actually had a good amount. One of them was a week 8 game, so we'll decide whether we count that later. 1, 2, 5, 6. We had 8
yes,
submissions.
You heard that right. It was a week 8 game that was played
Yeah.
in week 5 and then submitted for week 6.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
think
it was
did he
played.
try to submit it for week 5 review? I
No,
don't
it
remember.
was after the cutoff, so I guess it was played after, but it's played on like a Monday or something, or a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, so it was DJ Red Lantern, right? Who he's going on vacation near the end of like week 8 and just had to get a bunch of his games out of the way. So I think he's done, actually. He's played all 8 of his games now. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Nice. Good for him.
He played
Yep.
7 early too.
Yep.
Damn.
He played 7 in like week 5, and then he played 8 week 6.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
Have you
thanks for
recorded the results on the
proactive
doc?
scheduling. Yes, they are recorded. So I can just delete it right now if you want. That might be good.
I mean, if we know what happens, we know what happens, right? It's not worth talking about like hypotheticals, I guess. That'd be like if it's multiple games, because it's not just his games, right? It's like it's also his opponents, so we don't want to be like, well, they better win these last 2 games. It's like, oh, we know that they lost one, but we don't know that because we didn't see it on there. I would rather it be up to date than give people like false hope or false. I guess false hope.
True, kind of pretending like it didn't happen yet.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't.
I
For
don't
me,
know.
I don't know what it looks like, so I
True.
wouldn't be pretending. I would see like somebody hypothetically who played him already, and let's say he lost or they lost, like the person playing him. I would see that and be treating it like they don't already have a loss in the last 2 weeks, and I'd be thinking that there's a chance that they win out, right? But there's not a chance.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, we do have our All-Star game up here, and then we'll do our 2 Hustle ones and our Truant one, because once again, there's no Swarm submission besides that Week 8 one. We will
can
look
take
at the
another
doc.
look at week 8, during the week 8 review, but not during
Yeah.
the week 6 review.
Yeah. We will take a brief look at the docs, but we're not going to go too in depth. We're not going to look at like the Mon stat tracking or anything. We're just going to look at the standings, because we will be going in depth in them again next week, because that'll be the final week. Well, the review will be for week 7, but it'll be approaching the final week of before playoff cutoffs happen, which will be during that week, I guess. But who plays on a Monday or Tuesday, unless you're making up a week 7 game in week 4? But let's see. So here we have Zard, who we saw last week, but Monkey Boy, we actually haven't seen at all this season on stream. We've tried to protect you, but unfortunately, we couldn't continue to protect you for the rest of the season. We do have to watch a Monkey Boy replay here. That being said, he has a Greninja and a Zapdos. I already like the team. And a Miltank, and this is a Terra Miltank, right?
I hope so. Better be.
I don't remember.
It looks like it is because it's Steel type.
Is it? Yeah.
It's
It is, yep,
Hydrapple
and
Miltank.
Hydrapple.
Yeah. And then Terra fighting Ceruledge, and that's the only Terra Captain here, I guess.
Yep.
Because there's no way you could do Crobat and Ceruledge.
Yeah. And it's Mega Diancie too.
Mega Diancie, okay.
Makes sense.
So this game, if I remember correctly, was very. There was a lot of intricacy and nuance to a lot of the plays. I'm excited to take a dive in because it was really well played. I think by both.
Yeah. So what are you thinking for leads here? I mean, I feel like Mew is always a pretty safe lead, depending. I mean, obviously, you don't know the set off the, like without seeing.
I don't
it,
remember any of the sets, honestly.
Yeah, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
Mew
like, generally
makes
speaking,
sense.
because you don't know the set, Mew is always a safe option, like to predict as the lead. Could also be a lead
I'd say
Gren with
Gren.
hazards. It could be or just pivoting out.
Miltank gets rocks too.
Miltank does, okay. I was gonna say like Miltank like maybe gets some ball rolling early, pun intended, roll out.
I think Crobat is pretty okay in all those leads though. Like if it's a lead Mew, I think it's less
It
likely
only
to
doesn't
have
like
a psychic move.
Zapdos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually feel like maybe the lead Gren doesn't look as good here just because of the Crobat, unless you're Scarf or something.
Yeah.
Because Crobat always, like, if he's just probably going to be faster than you, he could just click U-turn on you. And that's going to be before any Protean, right? That's before, like, any of that, if that's what you're running. And then Scarf U-turn out does basically nothing to Crobat, so you don't really get a lot of value out of that.
Yeah, even if you're not Scarf too, like say you're Specs or Life Orb or something, and it's like booster speed shocks, you could be in a bad spot there too.
Yeah.
No, you do always have Hydrapple, so you're not actually like that bad, but if they just get rocks turn one, you're just kind of in a bad spot.
Really good in this shocks. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hydrapple just doesn't Terra this game, just be like as long as Shocks is alive, because you really do want to keep that typing there. Shocks doesn't really have anything to hit it. I think Shocks' only real coverage is like Power Gem and maybe Energy
yeah,
Control
and
or
Flash
something.
Cannon, Body Press.
Yeah.
It doesn't have very much.
Yeah, no. Hydrapple.
I think the poison would be good for flipping Moonblast. Sorry, with Diancie. It's probably pretty strong.
If you end up
Also stops it from being poisoned from Crobat. Any toxic shenanigans.
Yeah, and also this Terra fighting Ceruledge, it could be. Yeah, I mean, depending on what, if it's just Terra fighting, does it get CC? Ceruledge?
Yeah, it does.
So if it's like if you just need something to resist that, I don't know. I think it depends on what this Miltank plans on doing. If
the fighting feels weird to me. Let me double check Monkey Boy's team to see exactly what the fighting could have been for. So there's an Annihilate that's on the bench, there's a Pheasantipity that's on the bench, and there's a Steelix. And none of those I feel like you want fighting for.
You already have Fire type for the Steelix, if anything, which
Zark
really
just
you're
hates
probably not hitting
Miltank.
physically anyway. It really, honestly, it does actually kind of make sense for Miltank, because your stronger stab is your Ghost stab.
Yeah, and
well,
which is
Miltank also has
the fire.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually,
So
it
I
does
guess
make
it's
sense for
specifically
Miltank.
for that.
But it's a Terrakion,
Yeah.
though, so it could really go into anything.
Like it could
Like
be
a s-
Ghost itself and then just wall the
Yeah.
Miltank back. So
True.
Anyways.
Either way, I would
Or I
think
guess
that
it
that's
already
what
is
it's
a Ghost
for.
type.
There's probably,
Yeah,
if you're running a Ceruledge like this, like it's probably wanting to sweep at some point or try to sweep, and you don't want to just get completely walled by the Miltank after you've already popped like a Focus Sash or something.
I mean, there's no way it walls it, right?
It wouldn't wall fighting.
No, I know, but
Terrifying.
like, hey, let me pull up a calc. How much do you think like a +2
CC?
No, well, it can be it can be C. It doesn't have to be Terra fighting, I guess. For
Yeah, like without Terra fighting though, like if it's just CC
Miltank's
yeah, I
more
just think that
specially
Bitterblade. How much do you think
defensive, so
Bitterblade does?
against thick fat
God.
Miltank.
Yeah, even if it's like
At
full
least-
Zizza.
Probably like 30.
I think more than that, maybe 50.
Is this +2 or no?
How about both?
Okay,
Yeah.
not +2. It doesn't do a lot. It does 12 to 15.
No.
If it's +2, it does like a good amount.
Like 40, 30.
And I don't really know what like Miltank is doing back. I guess maybe paralyzing you.
Yeah, it's Quake, right?
Yeah, it's also got Toxic and Rocks, but
Yeah.
I think
I feel like it
least
doesn't really matter
you
what it
can-
hits you with if it's like a sash though, right? Like if you proc your sash and you're sitting there and you deny it a Bitterblade heal, you can pretty much kill it with anything.
I guess Miltank gets scrappy too from Pabby. Yeah, but like
Oh,
then you're
really?
not thick fat.
Then you're not thick fat, yeah. It does
Yeah.
make it kind of like a challenging matchup for the Ceruledge just in general though, like the fact that it could be either, and neither of those abilities present themselves until, well, Scrappy will if you hit a ghost, but like even thick fat, it's like you would have to guess if it's just fat or if it's thick fat. Like if it's just built fat or thick
True.
fat.
Like super fat.
Yeah, unless it's like the absolute maximum like phys def plus thick fat, then you know it could only be that. But there's a range.
Regardless, I think the fighting is pretty much just exactly for a Miltank.
Yeah,
I expect that the Hydrapple is likely like the main Terra, but then having a Terra fighting on Ceruledge is like a hey, in case we're in an endgame where I can win as long as I beat Miltank, then it can. My thing is, I just don't think it like needs Terra fighting, right? Like if it has CC, a +2 CC does 90 min.
Oh really?
If it's Jolly, if it's Adamant, it can just KO.
Yeah,
It's 98 min.
yeah. The
so,
Terra fight doesn't really add a lot then.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll see what happens. I would actually kind of expect. I think a Miltank lead is actually pretty good. Even into the Crobat and stuff, like you need it has to show that it's taunt or something, and then either way you just get rocks. You can T-wave stuff. It doesn't seem that bad.
Well, let's see what we got. We got a Shocks lead, which I guess we could have talked about too. Shocks is a very valid lead. Into the Greninja. So
it's not booster speed. It could still be Scarf, but it just switches out.
Yeah. I don't think it wants to risk
beam.
the Greninja also being Scarf, right? Like at that point, you don't want to just lose on turn 1.
Reveals Protean though. It's no Life Orb, but it also didn't click U-turn here, which makes me think it might be Scarf.
Yeah, and that didn't do like I feel like Specs Stab Ice Beam, depending on the Blastoise set, also might have done like a little bit more if it were Specs.
Yeah, if it's AV or something, then maybe not. Oh, the Citrus Berry on the plot, so it does just go for the Terra Poison early.
Yeah, immediate. Oh, and the haze. We saw Haze in the last game, right?
Maybe.
From like the last game from Crobat, I'm pretty sure we did see Haze.
All right, so now Hydrapple's probably forced out.
And now, like now you're losing to the. Oh, Berry though. Still doesn't kill.
That's a lot.
And you're still dead to an Earth Power.
You get Regenerator though.
I think you always make the read on the Zapdos switch. I think you should have spiked there.
Yeah, because it doesn't resist your Volt Switch anyways.
Earth
Power.
I was gonna say there's no ground type on this team.
Yeah.
So if you have Volt Switch,
you can either Volt Switch or Hazard there.
Yeah. I guess Steelix is the ground, which we talked about when we were doing the reviews about how Steelix being your only ground can be tough. Like this is a very like this is like a full team. Like you're not really missing any of your like high point mons, but you don't have a ground type, right?
Yeah. Now to be fair, Steelix has come 3 times out of 6 weeks.
But yeah, like it kind of has to though, right? Like that's kind of the
So Sandy Shocks just dies to Toxic. Is it not worth it to just Volt Switch out?
I don't know if we know that if it has Volt Switch or not, but I would say that I'm definitely surprised. Even if it doesn't have Volt Switch, again, no ground type.
Yeah, leaving it alive.
This mon is pretty fast, and you can just come in and spam T-Bolt. Nothing.
I would imagine it has Volt Switch. Like, what else are you putting on it?
Yeah, nothing here resists it at this point because Hydrapple also swapped, right? So like, there's never anything that will resist it except for the Kartana, which doesn't have an HP or SpDef stat. So
yeah.
I think that keeping it alive would have been good to at least Earth Power the poison Hydrapple.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I don't think it's bad. Like, you do at least kind of get momentum here, even though your hazards go away.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like you could probably swapped in Diancie or something.
Yeah, I don't even think that's a lot of momentum. That's just kind of like
right here. Like
if you're predicting the defog though. If you're predicting the defog though, I mean you haven't seen it yet, but like you could have just clicked Power Jump for the second spikes instead, and then the Zapdos is much lower. But
yeah.
But what we do see from the Zapdos is that it's 3 non-attacking moves already. So the last move,
I think it's Volt
probably
Switch.
Isn't a pivot. You think it is? I mean,
if they hard switch, it's probably Hurricane.
The Hurricane looks really bad into this team. To be fair, like resist.
It could be Heat Wave from Elm, but I think it's Volt Switch so that nothing can block it except Shocks, but it just beats Shocks 1v1
Shocks with the Toxic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
makes
think
sense.
that's the game plan. And it's slower than Shock, so it can still roost on the Earth Power. I think that's the game plan, which makes sense to me.
There's the Diamond Storm, no boost.
Boosto? No Boosto.
Was that a swap? Yeah, it was a swap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had see Revenged with or after the Shock's
Yeah.
died. Yeah, you just go for another Diamond Storm here. Yep.
No boost.
No Boosto.
No boot 2.
Moonblast. Damn.
Oh, that just
Yeah,
dies.
that next set just blows it up. Would have been nice to be Terror Steel there.
Would have been.
Cart is kind of a threat, though. Not when it Leaf Blades.
Mm,
I think that reveals that it's going to be Scarf. Like, if it's Revenging a Diancie,
well, do you
Yeah.
think
Scarf,
it's
like, maybe
do you think it's
Sash or
Scarf
EV.
with a Scarf Grin as well?
Possibly.
Brave Bird. I mean, here's the Ice Beam. Oh wait,
That
but
does a lot.
it's not a Scarf Grin though because the Crobat was just faster.
Okay,
Yeah.
unless it's also Scarf, but I don't think it is.
Well, no, it just roosted and then used Brave
Yeah.
Bird.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Volt
Okay.
Switch.
Yeah.
See, that just like kind of logically makes sense to me. Like, you don't need the U-turn when you beat the ground type.
Yeah, yeah.
Bitter
So
Blade.
Here's the fighting Seru.
Ooh,
See, I don't
this
know
is
if
sad.
And
I don't know if
there's
I agree with the
Terra.
clicking Terra there. I guess maybe resisting a Dark Pulse from a Gren later on in the game would be nice, but I don't know.
And there's
Yeah,
no, there's no
necessary.
other Terra Captain here, right?
Yeah.
And the Miltank is already dead. I mean, is there any reason?
Helm. Ooh, Psycho.
I guess when you see no Hurricane on Zapdos, you don't care,
the
actually.
news that was revealed.
Now you're less weak to all of what Gren does,
Right.
except Ice Beam, I guess, technically. There's a defog again. The Toxic
Ooh,
Miss is
miss.
kind of bad.
Yeah, and I
You
just
do it
get a
again?
roost in their face.
Doesn't
And
do it
goes
again,
through
it bashes.
So maybe predicting a swap.
Yeah, Volt Switch or something.
Is this maybe pads if it's comfortable doing this?
I would
or
assume
is it
Yeah,
so. Or
probably-
Punch
you
and
gotta
Glove.
think.
There's the volt switch.
Yeah.
And a card. Yeah, this
Card.
eats.
Yep. It's got
Yum.
decent
Yeah,
defense.
it's a real
Ow, the
defense
crit.
set, by the way. Then six
This is
up
probably a
over
Sacred
the-
Sword
Ice.
here.
Oh,
Mhm.
knock.
Okay,
Oh, knock.
knockoff is nice. That's good though, because you live a bash anyways. So
There's a pads Crobat for the Zapdos.
this is definitely Scarf though.
Yeah, 2 knocks in a row.
Yeah, now that we know that Gren's not Scarf, it's more likely, I think, too.
Switching in on the Diamond Storm to live.
And still no
25.
boost.
What kind of sucks
Yeah.
though is the actually the crit on
Oh, and the Sacred Sword call
the
out.
Sacred Sword switch. Yep. The
But
crit from the
now
first or from the
You
second
swap, right?
double Iron Bash actually makes it so that Cart isn't. Or it can't live a second Diamond Storm, so
Yeah.
it can't switch in like that again.
Yeah.
Volt switch out after the roost.
Roost on the Volt
Mhm.
Switch.
We still haven't seen Mew.
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
sure
there's
what
no
card
one at
clicks
all.
here. Psycho Cut. I forgot that even got that move.
Yeah, it's trying to get that Crobat.
Well, and Ledge now.
Oh, this
Yeah.
Yawn is bad. That's just free regen for the Hydrapple. It's full HP now.
Yeah. Flip turn out. I guess it gives you
Although
some
I don't
leverage.
really see what kills a Hydrapple now that Shocks is down.
Melton probably brute forces through it. I mean,
Is
it's
it
at
faster?
25%. No, but it resists
slower than Hydrapple.
everything.
It
It
gets Earth
resists
Power,
it.
doesn't it? Doesn't Hydrapple have Earth Power?
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Oh,
I guess we
okay.
haven't
so
seen
Mew's
the
gonna
Polter.
set up.
Oh.
Okay, the Polter.
Poltergeist.
And dead.
Ooh,
Just
just-
Opos. All right. That was an interesting, nasty plot. Probably
I mean, he's
expecting Melon to come
paralyzed.
in.
So, like, you
Yeah.
have a chance that a swap happens. You have a chance of the full para.
Let's
You
try
know.
another nasty plot. Yeah, that does nothing.
Yeah.
Giga Drain on the Crobat, yeah. Makes sense. Fickle Beam. Oh, just switches out in a Zapdos.
He just keeps switching out for the with the Crobat
The
coming in.
regen.
And the pads are knocked off, so every time the Zap comes in now, it actually has a chance of paralyzing.
Oh, Monkey Boy thought that it was 0 attack because it took so little from the special attack that it looked like
Based
it
on
was
the
full
time
spit
it's
F and just forgot that it could be AV.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, fighting AV actually makes a bit more sense because then you're not Swords Dance, so you can't like SD into the Miltank and you resist
Yeah.
Ren's moves
Yeah,
a lot
you're
more.
just like doing a lot better against Gren.
Yeah. I'm not sure why Hydrapple switched out at +2 in front of the Crobat, though. I feel like a Fickle Beam is you can just kind of fish for the all-out Fickle Beam, right?
Yeah, even at worst, you're
Like, it
doing
has to
what,
haze you.
65?
Even just a
Yeah.
regular +2 one.
Like, even if it hazes you, you're doing a billion with the all-out Fickle.
Where are we
so-
at on roosts? So we have 3 roosts and 3 both at 3. I was gonna say I feel like I've seen a lot of roosts so far.
Yeah.
I didn't know who was ahead.
So Psycho Cut maybe again?
This
Probably. Yeah.
is a good progress,
Ooh,
though.
big crit,
Ooh,
big
especially
crit.
now. This could be a
Yeah,
boost.
probably 2
Maybe Melon?
AKOs though.
Ooh.
Double crit anyway. But like, I think
Yeah.
it probably 2 AKOs even without a crit.
Yeah, likely.
You are now
Melon
Scarf
has to come
+1,
in.
which is pretty big.
Oh, that revenging with Diancie is kind of risky because Psycho Cut is high crit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
But probably, even at +1, do you even kill?
Diamond.
Oh,
Storm.
this is so well played from Zard here.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still no boost to defense, though.
No boost though.
That's
and
crazy.
show me the resist here. I guess it's just always Seru.
Scald, and you can't
Scald,
get burned
can't burn.
because you're paralyzed. Still haven't seen the full para though.
True.
And actually staying fire would have been better for that Giga Drain. And it's not
That's okay.
choice.
This is still. It's not really good progress here. Like even at -1, this Giga Drain's healing for nothing.
Yeah.
Bitter Blade might kill.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
Close,
But you can't
still
switch
don't
out.
Oh,
know.
we gotta...
Oh, Shadow Sneak,
sneak,
smart.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude has not gotten a full para the whole time.
Yeah, if there was a pair that would have
Shadow
been nice.
Sneak,
Kartana
not
lives.
enough.
Hold.
Ooh.
Psycho Cut.
Another beast
It's the
boost.
boost, your Scarf, you're faster. Gotta imagine... Oh, okay.
Gren might be able to clean up here if it gets a. Oh no, it's not Battle Bond.
Ooh.
It's and the Psycho Cut doesn't crit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Gren do it? He says if I Leaf Bladed, I won. Oh, the Water Shuriken? This could win, right? Depending on if he gets 4 or 5 hits or something?
Yeah, it could be loaded dice
Yeah.
too. Nah, it's not
One.
going.
2, 3. Oh,
Oh,
it could have if it had like 5 hits
that
with
was
a crit.
close.
It would have needed a crit though.
Unfortunate for Monkey Boy. Honestly, really well played by both. And this game really opened up off of Zard's just crazy reads on Diancie.
Milk
I think
drink.
he played the mind games really well. It was Toxic, Seismic Toss, Milk Drink. What else was on Miltank? Rocks?
Toxics.
Yeah, Rocks.
Yeah, rocks.
Yeah. What was the reset?
And it was Earth Power on the Hydrapple. Gren was Specs.
It was Specs, so it must
So
have
that
been
Ice
AV.
Beam
Must have been AV
Blastoise,
Blastoise.
Yeah. Scarf. Mew is just nasty plot
Expert belt.
sucking. Okay.
Okay.
We did see the expert
Yeah.
belt from Poltergeist, but we didn't see the rest of the moveset. Rocky Helmet Miltank, okay.
Something I'm curious about though is why, like, I mean, I'm not doing any calcs
It was
here, but
pads.
surely even if it's
Pads.
0, like the 0 attack, Ceruledge, like you were calcing, Monkey Boy, that a Poltergeist into Shadow Sneak probably kills. So even if you set the
Poltergeist.
nasty plot, Poltergeist. So even if you set the plot, it wasn't even AV Blastoise, by the way. It was Rindo Berry. Wow, it was just full calm.
Yeah. It's still a lot.
Yeah.
Blastoise is the tank. I'll never forget the one day. I don't know this. Maybe I'm just kind of. I don't. Never mind. But there was one day I was playing in a speed tour. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was in a league that like I never played in. Maybe it was a Coliseum. I played in a speed tour there, and I drafted Blastoise, and I brought Assault Vest. You know, like flip turn, rapid spin, kind of the typical AV Blastoise set. And the people that I was playing against and like the people rooting for the guy that I was fighting were like mocking me at my awful Blastoise set, saying that like it should never run AV and that should like Shell Smash is like the only. I don't remember exactly what it just felt so weird. It felt like
Well, I
isn't
think
AV
especially
Blastoise
now
okay?
that
I think it's fine. Is it
now
bad?
that it has
It was like
flip
Dragon
turn.
Tail last move or
Get
something.
Pivot. Yeah.
now that it has flip turn, it's definitely like way better as AV. Like, just because you have a button that you can always click.
Okay, this makes a bit of sense. Monkey says, I thought it might not have Polter since if it was AV, it would like the bulk.
If it
Like bulk
wasn't
up.
AV. it
So
would
if
make
yeah,
it
so if it was like bulk up, Bitter Blade, it needs a move for Miltank, so it has to be CC and
Yeah,
then,
and then
last-
Shadow Sneak.
either Sneak or Polter, yeah. It makes sense. I think it's just very risky to make that call, like so early in the game.
Wait, we have
Not really
two,
early, but
two
at the
pads
point.
and 2 Rindos, by the way.
True. For
I understand
guess
multiple
you do have
pads against Zapdos.
you do
but
have Gren or sorry, not Gren,
the Hydrapple.
Cart and Hydrapple, yeah. So lots of grass moves being fired out.
Wait, what was the okay?
Makes sense.
Where does say if he leaf bladed he won? That's here.
Right
he
here.
means?
Yeah.
I guess none of the Rindos come into play because they're both down.
What's Crobat at this point?
It's like 20 something.
61%.
Oh, 60.
I don't think that kills.
Probably not.
Probably banking on Greninja cleaning up, but yeah, if you show Leaf Blade there, he just goes into Crobat instead of Diancie.
I definitely messed up with the Hydrapple versus Crobat. I should have been trying to pair the bat.
Where was the para again? Who had the para? Oh,
It was
static.
static.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Oh, so you're saying you should have been switching it to Zapdos?
Should have been switching Zappin, yeah.
That's pretty fair. I mean, yeah, once the pads are gone, that makes sense.
When also,
When it's Super Fanged, yeah. Fair.
once you saw all the moves, you knew it wasn't going to be something that could poison you. So just safe 100% of the time, basically.
But you switched in Zapdos on the Haze turn, though, didn't you? Does Shuriken clean if Crobat is chipped, though? Yeah, I think so. But
this
it
was on the
wasn't.
Haze turn.
But it wasn't loaded dice, so it has to get high rolls a lot.
Oh yeah, what was the Grand running?
I think it
No,
was
it was
Specs.
Specs. It was Specs. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what was wrong. You're saying? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. That was a good game.
Okay, well,
though.
that
It
was
ended up being
really
pretty
GG.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
a lot
good
of
game.
mind games there. It looked like a lot of very, very intuitive and like creative building. So I don't know. I think
Yeah, very intuitive, very creative. Rindo, Pats. I
No,
know they
mean,
all make
that's-
sense, but it's just funny. It's just like, oh yeah, we love
Gotta do what you
creative
gotta do.
builds.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard to be intuitive and creative at the same time, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like,
Well, and against the Zapdos or like any like Flame Body Mon, like I've run multiple pads before. Like I think
Yeah.
it's fair. If you
Yeah.
get the roll, like if you have like the ranges that you need on your attacks, like and you don't need the extra little boost from anything, and you'd rather just have the reliability, it's fine.
Yep. Okay.
Awesome.
With that, I think we can move on to our first of 2 hustle games. We've got Matayoshi versus Lethal Blue, who Lethal is just taking over a roster for Davo Wolf, who unfortunately had to drop. I think he made some changes. Let me double check the changes that he. Hustle trades. He actually didn't make any trades.
5 free.
Oh, yes, he
moves,
did.
and
Sorry. So he dropped Sandy Shocks, Cresselia, the Dunsparce, Coffagrigus, and Glaceon for Lele, Alakazam, Rhyperior, and
Oh, so
Frostlass.
Yeah, okay. And,
And he made Alakazam and Rhyperior the Terra Captains.
I mean,
so no
Rhyperior
Zam
Terra
here.
Captain is quite good. We know
Yeah,
that.
par for the course. Pretty much. If you see a Rhyperior, assume that it's a Terra Captain, honestly.
Yeah.
And this is actually Lethal's Hustle debut. He's only ever played in Swarm and Truant.
I thought he
So
he played in Hustle last season.
No.
or something.
Nope. He got promoted. He was, I believe, season 4 Truant, and season 5 he went back to Swarm after a really good
okay.
season 4 performance.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is, I believe this was his first game in the division. But regardless, this season at least, taking over this roster is his debut in the division. And I'm hoping that he doesn't let down. I've got high hopes for him.
Also, can we talk about Matayoshi's team here, where it has 3 paradoxes, a mythical, a mega, I'm assuming mega, and then Gliscor.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's like
Good
two of
speed,
the best,
bundle moon.
two of the best paradoxes, one of like the best in VGC at least, and pretty good in signals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
W Mentor
that's
gameplay,
a pretty
true.
Stacked team.
Looking at lead, man, I think Lethal Blue has a harder time picking a lead. Like, probably Corv is the safest thing to go with.
Yeah, Corv or Rhyperior could rock.
I think
Or
I
it
like the
could be- It could be a
Rhyperior.
Scarf Zarude.
What's the
future.
Terra type on Rye?
Yeah, can we see the type?
We got Flying Deoxys and Fairy Ray.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
the fairy makes sense. It's just there to, I mean, it's good into Bolt and Moon, and it'll stay immune to Electric too. So Bolt just kind of has a bad time.
Or if it could be running Solid Rock, and then it just doesn't have to worry about Aggron. Like, I think that makes it a pretty good Aggron check because you're a Fairy type that's not weak to Steel. Or I should put it, you're a Body Press resist that's not weak to Heavy Slam.
Yeah, but what's it doing
Yeah.
back to...
I think it's
Aggron,
got to
though?
be. Yeah, I think it has to be Lightning Rod though for the Bolt. Like, I think the whole reason you run it is for Bolt and Moon.
I guess true. Yeah. Lightning Rod Fairy is also a Bolt counter.
Yeah, it completely blanks it, but...
I got bodied by a Terra Fairy Minun, I think it was. Like right after.
Were you playing Randbats?
No, it was like the week that the second DLC came out, and I was just like messing around on ladder, like trying out Bolt. Just got completely owned. I had like my whole Calm Mind set up, and then Terra Fairy is like, well, damn, this guy has seen a lot of bolts today, I guess, and he knows
I
that
can't
we have
touch
2
this.
moves. So
Yeah.
Well, you made them tear their mind in, so that's a win.
yeah, true. I think I did actually still end up winning the game, but I thought it was kind of funny. It's like, damn, I just didn't consider this at all. I saw the Minun the whole
Still
time. I
have
was
a
like,
Minun.
I could have thought that this was gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, you guys say Corv. I think I kind of disagree. I think it's easy to see Unburdened Sneasler, but I'd actually like to see like a Scarf Sneasler here. I think looks really strong.
Yeah,
It's good.
I think
Counterplay-
Lele doesn't lock you into the Unburdened Sneasler sets as much as running like another kind of terrain where it's like
I feel like if
missed
it's
opportunity.
if it's Scarf Sneasler or something, you just lead Gliscor against it and click Protect. Like,
Yeah, but you don't know
Possibly.
if it's Scarf
Yeah, you
Sneasler.
don't necessarily know
that's
that.
still
Like,
good into a lot of other ones, so you get the Toxic proc.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
it's not really bad to lead Gliscor here.
yeah. It can have Switcheroo too to try and mess with that, but yeah, if you have Protect, then that's good. I actually find though that Gliscor doesn't have the move slots to run Protect that often in this day and age. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's been maybe a generation or two that it hasn't, in that dex at least, it hasn't had the time to do that. It has
It's
just
also
better
the
things
only
to do.
hazard control in this team right now.
True.
So if you need anything, then it's your defogger.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to really run spikes because you got like Deoxys. You can have rocks on Aggron. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think I'd probably.
I think that
expect
Scarf Sneasler is. I think Scarf Sneasler is fair though, just because of the bundle, and you're only gonna get one Unburden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Scarf Lele lead is okay too.
Yeah.
It's just pretty bad into Deoxys lead. It'll never break that.
Right. And there's no pivot.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what we got.
See,
It's a bundle lead,
bundle.
which I guess makes
There's
sense
a
too.
sneasler.
This could be a Scarf bundle, but it swaps out, so it's
He
almost
scouts the
certainly
Scarf.
not. Yeah, that's almost certainly not a
Definitely
Scarf bundle then, because if you are Scarf, you know you outspeed everything.
Yeah, and you just flip turn. And he
Flame-
flings a
Flame
flame
orb.
orb, and it lands on the Gliscor.
That's rough.
Yeah, they just put the Gliscor in on the Sneasler. It's easy.
Is Fling better than Switcheroo?
Yeah,
feel
because
like-
Switcher. Well, I guess for
with Fling, you
Sneasler
get Unburden.
specifically,
Yeah, it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
that much in that context.
yeah.
Unless you really want the Unburden proc, but you swapped out, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter for Light Ball though, because because it only paralyzes if you fling it.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is some crazy tech. So Gliscor is now burned instead of poisoned. I guess
brought the wrong item.
Leading it might not have even done any better if it doesn't have protect too. It would have just been flung. So
Hi YouTube.
hi YouTube.
That reminds me, we're gonna hide you guys yapping over here.
Oh, bye. 6% damage. True.
It's not about the damage. It's about the burn.
Maybe it is about the damage.
Yeah, that's not doing a lot of damage.
1, by the way.
Hey guys, okay, yeah, the chat literally says, hey guys, over at the week 6 replay review, hi replay review stream. Alright guys, hi Toady, hi Lee.
Yeah, this Rhyperior just walls this. I mean,
Yeah,
the only
hold
thing
on.
I can really do is...
Did you do laundry yet?
Ah, damn it. I actually have to do my laundry.
Alright, there's your reminder. Alright, chat said, this is a very yappy game.
Good job, Pastor.
Chat.
Damn it. Man, how did I know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we don't
I
see
did
the rest
just
of the
eat
moves,
before
but we
stream
have
though,
to
so
assume
I'm
that-
actually not that hungry.
Rocks are up.
So
Okay.
what can Bolt do to that kind of Rhyperior set though? It's like
Nothing.
Cry?
If he's sub, that's his extra move. I feel like on Bolt, you're always running your like regular electric move, your either Dragon Pulse or Draco, and then Thunderclap, and then like whatever your extra move is, whether it's your Calm Mind setup, whether it's Volt Switch to pivot, whether it's some wacky extra move like Body Press or like the Earthquake or something, or in this case, it's sub. So
yeah.
I think there's absolutely no way that he has a move that hits the Rhyperior.
Okay.
But he does come in
On
pretty
heavy
much-
slam and do nothing? True.
He does come in on Corv pretty safely, but as soon as Corv catches onto that, you just click U-turn every time, and then you always lose this exchange.
And lightning
Yeah.
round. There
Well,
we
this
are.
is just free though, and Rhyperior heals up all the time and can honestly just fire out like EQs. Maybe it has Ice Punch.
Oh, he forgot that was an
or
ability.
Blast
He
Mark.
didn't even acknowledge it the first time he was in.
Oh no. Okay, the Stone Edge is probably the coverage that it has for Gliscor. If this Gliscor wasn't burned though, I feel like Rhyperior doesn't even beat it. Like even with an ice move.
Yeah. But it's
man,
not
double
recovering
best.
though.
Yeah, it'll never beat this Deoxys either, assuming it has recovery. Seismic Toss is pretty good.
Yep.
It's not Boots, might be AV, it might be Smash. It's Mega.
Oh, it's
That's
mega.
So if
Yawn.
it's Smash, he's instantly banned.
This is a fast Blastoise.
Blastoise.
Fastoise. You probably flip turn here.
Rapid spin. You got
Or
Rock
I'd like to see a spin actually, yeah.
Yep. Now you got.
That's okay.
If you have an ice beam, you're in trouble. Oh.
Slide. This has got to be a Scarf Lily then. If it's coming in now.
Yeah, otherwise, or it could be
Yeah.
Babiri.
Maybe, yeah. Moonblast.
But still, this is
I mean,
pretty
it's
good shit now.
pre-mega. It's pre-mega, so.
And it
Oh,
wasn't
it's
Scarf,
not
it's
Scarf, by the way, so that's just a great bluff.
The T-Wave. Probably see a heavy
Mhm.
slam into the Babiri here. Nope, just switching on
Yeah,
into
you just
into
focus
Deoxys.
blast again. Oh, never mind. I thought
Yeah,
oh, I
Corv
guess he's
comes
slower
in.
now because of the T-Wave, yeah.
I mean, maybe it's none of the above. Maybe it's not even Babiri and it was just faking the Scarf.
I mean, it was a good
And it
Scarf
would have
bluff
paid
if that's
off.
I
what
mean,
it was.
it makes sense, yeah.
Oh, the Iron Defense. You can try to yawn here.
Ooh, yeah.
But you're
might
running
have
out of HP on
particles, too.
Blastoise.
Yeah, they drew you on.
Yeah, the
This
Seismic
is a
Toss,
very
I think,
similar
plus poison.
Blastoise set to the last one, even though this one's Mega.
Yeah.
And you're dead.
Yeah,
to Toxic.
Blastoise just goes down, and Deoxys has to switch here, though, so maybe you have a setup turn, yeah.
Well, does it have to switch? I guess, like...
It's got Terra. So if it really wants to risk
Yeah, it does
that,
have
can.
Terror, yeah. Well, I was going to say,
True.
though, too, it's like, it's full health, and there are mons that you know that you wall on this team. Like, if you wanted to risk the sleep turns, I think you could.
Roar. Ooh.
That's pretty risky.
It
You
is
do have
risky,
Aggron in
yeah.
the back, but
Yeah, Aggron at like 50%, right?
the T-Spikes on Sneasel are true. I mean, this
So we
set
know
is just
Bolt doesn't have
kinda
moves.
crazy.
Yeah, Bolt is completely cooked into the Rapier. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can make plays around that, right? Like whenever you, if
just do a
for
hard
example,
swap.
if Gliscor dies here,
it will die to the
which I
burn.
think it will if it doesn't
Unless
roost
it
here.
roosts, yeah.
Okay, well, it's dead
It
on the
turns
switch.
out, but it'll.
You can go like Bolt. No, Bolt on Zarude would be bad. Sure, Aggron makes sense.
Doesn't Zarude get CC?
Yeah, no CC, I guess.
Yeah, it does. So maybe if you go Bolt here on their roost. No, it just stays into body press. Thunder Punch.
Thunder
I don't like
Punch.
that play.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to be more proactive. This Corv just walls you. No, you've missed your opportunity. That's okay. Sack Gliscor. This is fine, because now Corv can't U-turn here. This Iron Defense is fine. You go Bolt.
Yeah, you can get this Corv out
Now,
every time.
okay.
The question.
Now you switch. You double switch
Yeah,
here
you
on the
hard
Rhyperior.
switch. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
perfect.
Hey, dude, are you coaching?
I'm ghosting. Yeah, but this needed to be done so much sooner.
Yeah,
I think
now,
on Terra's
now you
preview,
probably
I
do
know,
just die to Quake, right?
I know that Matayoshi said that he forgot that
Damn, that's not even the solid
Lightning
rock.
Rod was an ability,
Yeah.
but this kind of double switching on the Rhyperior needed to happen.
Well, Heavy Slam is based on your weight relative to the target, right? It's not just your weight.
Yes.
So Heavy Slam on Rhyperior is doing nothing. They're both super
I
weak.
actually think it's not as bad as you think. Let me
Or is it
double
because
check
Mega
here.
Aggron is just so absurdly heavy that it doesn't matter that it still gets the max
Yeah,
BP?
pretty much.
I thought Rhyperior would also be like absurdly heavy though.
Okay, Heavy Slam is actually only 40 base power against Rhyperior, so yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it
I
looked
guess
like
they're
it was
both
solid
in like
rock.
the top weight categories.
Yeah. I feel like Ironhead might just be a better bring this game.
Yeah,
Like,
possibly.
surely you're killing Lele
Surely you kill Lele
as quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
you
you
gotta
need the
think
damage
this-
though against Sneasler.
I doubt it. I
Not
doubt
sure.
you need it against
I
Sneasler.
think these hazards are just gonna rip Matayoshi apart from here though. Like
Yeah,
Rhyperior is
'cause-
healthy enough that it can
Yeah.
just hit everything. Deoxys gets
Deoxys.
poisoned.
I,
Well, I
would
guess you know
swap.
you can literally be at 1% and still fully wall the bolt, so it doesn't like you don't have to keep him at full HP. I
Yeah.
would like to see this Rhyperior preserved though.
Does it not have Earthquake? Because these Stone Edges are gonna get
No, it has Earthquake.
stalled out.
Yeah.
You might be fishing for a crit though.
Then there's Iron Defense.
Because we had already seen the Iron Defense, so maybe he's expecting the Iron Defense, so he's using Stone Edge to fish for a crit to ignore it.
Skyhop says Bolt needed to stay on the bench probably. Maybe.
Well,
let me
he didn't
double check,
realize. I don't like. I think if he
Yeah, he just
realized
forgot.
that was a thing.
But I don't think in Household Division that's a like valid excuse. I think you just need to not forget.
Well, not forget, and also like there are still moves you can bring that hit it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really.
Maybe not that hit it well, but just like think like you can.
Zerd probably
You
clicks
can
knock.
roar. You can
Yeah.
well, I guess you can't Dragon Tail if it's Jared, but you can roar. So like every time the Rhyperior comes in, like let's say you already have your rocks or spikes up, you just roar. And Corviknight doesn't want to come in and
that's fair.
defog on you. There's ways around it. It's just he
Yeah,
forgot and
for
now
sure.
you didn't bring
You're
anything
just
for
dead
it.
to seismic. Oh, you're almost dead to seismic.
I wonder, is this lefties or is it Rocky? No, it was lefties. No.
It was lefties.
Wow, and that did nothing because it was already knocked off.
So the options
Mhm.
for Matayoshi if Bolt stays on the bench aren't that great, really. There's Delmise, which I guess would have been nice for removal. Terra Frostmoth maybe is all right. And sorry to say, Toady, but Wigglytuff is on the bench, and I think for good reason.
Yeah, I don't think Wigglytuff's that great into Sneasler or Corviknight.
Yeah.
It's damage. Ooh, full para.
Skill issue.
And
Quick recover.
And
I
then
feel like
still-
Corviknight would have been
Jeez.
better earlier here. Because they just have Roost, and they only have Seismic Toss to do damage.
Yeah,
and
you
you're
would
not gonna get
be-
toxic.
You would be.
is
just
it pressure, Corv?
matching it.
I
is, think.
don't
Or wait,
remember.
No, it's not because it doesn't.
If it doesn't
show
say,
pressure.
then it's not. Then it's Mirror Armor, yeah.
Yeah, mirror armor.
Because even Unnerve has the ability would
Yeah,
be
it would
declared.
tell you.
The Terra Flying to
Oh,
not...
I was thinking of
Died of the
Deoxys showed
Shadow Ball.
pressure. I was like, I know I saw pressure this game. It's because of Deoxys.
Yeah. This is kind of dangerous, although I think Deoxys is going to run out of
It's gonna run out of
recovers.
it
Oh,
is
it's out of recovers now.
It is
That was
out.
the last one. And you know that if his only
needs a
attacking
para.
move is toxic, why isn't? Oh, he's para. That's why he can't toxic. I was like, why isn't he toxic yet? Yeah, if you're Lele
Yeah.
here, you know exactly how much damage he's doing every turn. He's never critting you. He's never doing a high roll. I think if you know that you just eventually win that out, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
you
still
do
think
lose your
losing...
Lele for.
Well, he
Oh,
also
gotta
lost
come
some
in.
Moon.
Rid too. I think Corv would have just been better.
I think Bundle had to
I mean,
come in
granted,
here.
Lele was paralyzed, so like it makes it a little
Ironhead?
bit worse into these
Flinch?
two.
Flinch?
No flinch.
Ooh.
That flinch might have been big.
Yeah,
So Bundle comes in.
but now Bundle just comes in. Yeah,
Yeah,
And this
Ice
is-
Beam is unresisted.
this is not Scarf because
It's-
it flung its flame orb.
Not
Yep.
Ooh,
Boots.
protect.
Heck.
That is alright.
Okay.
Honestly, you
It's
can sack your
scouting.
Corv off here. You can sack your
Yeah.
Corv.
Would you sack Corv?
I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sack my Sneasler.
Hmm.
I would think that if you know your Corv set, would it like it could be like a careful Corv. I don't know. If Corv doesn't get O-code by Bundle, I think you're fine because you always kill the Bundle.
You know what?
and
Maybe-
then you
maybe
know
this
right
was
for
the
it
play.
always 1v1s.
Press.
Yeah.
If it
You're
were
right,
like
actually. This is the play.
if it were anything but Raging Bolt, literally doing absolutely nothing to Rhyperior, the Corv, like using Corv to use its 90% health to kill Bundle, because Sneasler you know doesn't outspeed because he was flame
Yeah.
when he flung it.
The line that I was thinking was like sack Corv into go back to Rhyperior, protect, and like let poison kill Bundle. But I think this is actually maybe better. It's just that it
Yeah.
risks you being frozen.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
But this is fine too, honestly. Yeah, the poison does
And
the
then you
work,
just,
and then
like,
Rhyperior
find-
wins.
You could have just saved Diff by going hard Rhyperior.
Yeah.
Literally zero reason not to. He cannot touch you. You get
Are all
plus
the
one
moves
Diff
real?
if you. I guess not.
What?
Technically, if it has like roar, like you said. Oh wait, the rocks are. I
Substitute.
can't tell. They
So,
are up, right?
On, yeah, they are.
Yeah, Rocks.
If it is roar, then yeah, Rhyperior just dies.
Oh.
And that's going to be GG to the poison, and wow. Okay, next
Yeah.
turn.
No, yeah.
Next turn, surely. Sub fails.
I wonder
What's
what
the
that last move was, though. Maybe it was
Probably
Volt Switch
Thunderclap.
or Thunderclap.
Yeah, it'd probably have to be.
The BM
Yeah.
show team before the turn ends, before you've seen all four moves. Oh, another reason why Flame Orb makes sense, I think. I mean, why Flame makes sense is because if you click Switcheroo and like Aggron comes in, expecting a poison type move, which I mean, you probably wouldn't put Aggron in on the fighting type turn one, but then if for whatever reason Switcheroo fails, you get burnt.
True.
There's also the problem of just getting like booster energy randomly from one of the Paradox mons, and that's not going to do much for you.
Yeah, you'd rather be itemless.
Well, you're never going to take the booster because it'll
It'll
use the
proc,
booster.
but yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, you still hand off the Flame Orb at least.
Yeah. I guess the difference, though, is that Fling procs the burn immediately as opposed to the Flame Orb.
It's not 8 p.m. yet.
Oh,
But-
I mean, it's almost 8 p.m. I've got a coffee right now, though. Does that...
I think that's a, yeah, that's a good reminder. Last move with Thunderclap, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Bolt. I mean,
It's
good Rhyperior set.
Banded
That's classic.
Moon.
Oh, that's why I did so much to Rhyperior. If that flinched, though, was that game? The Iron Head on Rhyperior?
Well, it
Maybe.
outspeeds everything that was left, right? Her Sneasler was still left at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 Iron Heads, I think. Oh, but like it would switch in. It would
Where was
revenge.
that? Yeah,
No,
I think
'cause
you
need
just.
to keep the Rhyperior.
Yeah, but you still have Sneasler.
But
You
then
still-
what? So do you sack your Rhyperior, or do you go Corv?
Oh, if he flinches here, yeah.
Like if he flinches the Rhyperior.
I don't know. Does Bolt survive? CC
Probably.
at
Not after rocks.
58 at 58% after rocks and poison.
I'd assume not.
Yeah, if it's been shipped down.
I think
It might be
Sneasler.
close.
I think it could go either way. It would just be that Sneasler kills this, and then but then again you don't have a sack for bundle, so and you can't swap into Corv and then
Yeah.
also tank the Ice Beam and kill it. So then you're stuck with just Corv against Bolt if you end up sacking the Sneasler, which I think
on this flinch
Corv loses that.
If this flinches, I think you just have to go Corv because this reveal band, it can't like knock Corv on the switch. So like play it from here. Oh, I guess actually playing it doesn't do anything. It would be a Corv switch on the Iron Head into turning on the Bolt switch into back into Rhyperior, and then you're at the same spot.
Yeah.
So it's not actually the end of the world. Because the Iron Head doesn't do enough to Corv that the Ice Beam would have KO'd.
Yeah, you just roost that turn anyway.
Yeah.
Or even just quick body
turn,
press.
Solid.
Yeah, so it was actually pretty safe here for lethal. He definitely played the Rhyperior very well. So kudos.
Is there anything else we want
Any
to see?
sets we want to see here? What was the last move on Sneasler? Was it CC?
Did we not see it?
Oh, it was AV.
Yeah, it was
Lele.
CC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once we didn't see once we saw that it wasn't Scarf, that's a pretty fair guess. With all the...
I mean, Draining Kiss AV is pretty good in his special attackers. Like, honestly, it probably 1v1's Bolt pretty well. Probably 1v1's,
probably decently.
What's it called? Bundle pretty decently. It has a good spit F stat, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's anything to learn here, I think, Matayoshi, don't forget about Lightning Rod. Now you know.
Don't forget about why Terra Rhyperior is broken.
Yeah. Just in general, too, with Bolt specifically, like, there's a lot of electric immune abilities with Volt Absorb, Motor Drive, Lightning Rod, things like that. So, always Terra Fairy, things you need to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah, and it's one of it's like as cool of a mon as Bolt is, it is definitely like a Gen 8 plus mon problem in Nat Dex. Where sometimes you just don't have moves that like alternatives.
If it's not a Gen 1 normal type, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like Terra Fairy Jolteon and everything. Yep. Zera Aura, like all of the even like a Lantern or something.
Well, this Zera Aura is not a Terra Captain.
Yeah, not anymore. After the
so
recent ban wave
rated by Draco or something.
Okay, we have here another hustle replay again. Since we have no swarm replays, we're gonna need you guys to submit some swarm replays. But we've got Royce Snover versus Viaz, who I believe at this point were both undefeated, or maybe not both undefeated, but both like at the top of the standings.
Very nice.
Yes, both of them were 5-0 at the beginning of this, at the top of the division, indisputably. So this was the most highly anticipated match of the week, and it had a good amount of requests here, and people were just really looking forward to this. So another one that I'm excited to get into. We do, funny enough, see the Zera that I was just talking about. Obviously, it's not a Terra Captain. Yeah, not anymore. I believe it's Terra Crocodile versus Terra Raikou here.
Yeah, Terra Dragon Raikou and Terra Grass Crook.
Okay.
The grass is interesting. I imagine that's probably just
a Mega Dancy, right?
Aloe. It's Mega Dancy, yes.
Is that Mega Scizor?
I think so. Let me double check.
Is it Mega Latios?
No. It's Mega Scizor, yes.
Okay. I mean...
yeah, I think the Terra Grass is probably just to try and beat Aloe. I don't know how consistent that's going to be, though. Although I guess you
Why
get
would it beat
a
the
50-50
Aloe on its
flip.
own team, though?
Oh.
I mean, it's also decent against Zera.
Which is
Decent
also on its team.
Oh, it's on its own team, sorry.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Guys, it's clearly for the Mega Latios.
It's for the Mega Latios.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what else could this be for? The grass into... Let me check.
Something not... I mean, it could be for Samurott.
Okay, Treads didn't come, and I guess
Yeah.
there's a Shaman that they're expecting to come. And Shaman does kind of wall you
Shaman
if you're...
doesn't look very good here. I wouldn't expect Shaman. I mean, maybe for Aloe. But,
It's
like,
probably not bad
Sucks
into
and... Does it have a heat
Zera as
wave?
well. No,
Like, yeah,
it has Earth Power.
Yeah, but that doesn't help against Scizor.
So looking at leads, Zera looks pretty free. There's no ground type on the other side.
No ground. Might be bad into
Dude, there's
Dragalge.
Crook, though.
True. You don't want to get willowed by Rotom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a
Scarfront.
very physical team, except for Latios.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see Willow being strong, but
I guess one of them's immune to Willow.
we have the classic we have the classic Fire Pond versus Rotom Heat matchup where
Mold
you don't know
Break,
if they're going to be running a ground move to Mold Break through your Levitate, so you run the ability shield, or you could fake the ability shield and run boots and kind of make that 50-50 play.
Yeah. No, it's a good idea.
It kind of has to T-wave you in order to have any sort of progress versus you, but again, that's not even really like progress in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what they lead with.
Yeah. Maybe even a Scarhape here would be okay.
Omega.
Fancy. And a Crook. Clear body,
Clear
nice.
body, yeah.
You do have to be careful of Scarf here, so yeah, you can stay base and move
Yeah,
west.
and you survive. And no Terra, but
Roselli.
Roselli Berry.
Roselli
And now
with the
you can
Terra
Mega.
Captain is interesting.
You Mega and Diamond Storm again? And Moonblast again?
Moonblast, yeah.
Yeah.
That's might be AV Aloe, so you gotta be careful
Yeah.
here.
there's a
This is
lot.
definitely a flip
turns.
turn. Nice. Plus
It's
one.
Raider.
But
Is-
yeah, you get it on your Annihilate. Defiant, not a great swap.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Yeah.
Is this Scarfape? No, it's lefties. But a Drain Punch would go big here.
Lefties.
I'm cooked, he says.
Drain Punch, yeah, definitely.
Ooh.
Oh, true. You want to zoom in?
Oh, true.
We have the technology. Oy,
Ah,
oy, oy.
just
That
tries
might
to
be
eat it.
Specs. Maybe it's Soldu. It's Life
it's
Orb,
Life
okay.
Orb.
Yeah.
Is Soldu legal? I thought it was.
Yep.
No, I guess it is here. Yeah.
It got mega nerfed in like Gen 6 or so.
Yeah. It was. It's
7?
it's like 1.2 now, right?
It did
Yeah.
something completely different before. It used to
Oh,
be
really?
choice specs and assault vest for Latios and Latias.
Really?
It was +1 special attack, +1 special defense. But now it's plus 1.2x on Dragon and Psychic
On
stabs.
Dragon and Psychic. Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't have anything defensive anymore.
It used to be like like mega broken.
Just like Mega
That's a good
Latias.
change.
True. Well, honestly,
Ooh.
with Soul Dude, there was actually not a reason to run Mega Latios. Like Soul Dude was
Was it actually just
unironically just better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Click Ceaseless again.
Yeah, these spikes are stacking up. There's no removal.
Well,
unless
you
it's,
didn't
like,
consider that it could
defog
miss.
Scizor. When the spikes miss.
Yeah, best removal.
This gets U-turned here.
Don't. Whoa! Why is that animation so fast? I see that sometimes randomly where like a swap, and it's like preserved through the replay, like a swap or something is just super fast. Like watch
Really?
this Scizor, yeah. Oh wait, no, that time is normal.
I don't see
You
a
might be
difference.
tripping.
No, that time was normal. No, I actually have a replay that I can show you that has an exact moment like that I'm thinking of, and I think it was
I
because
don't believe you.
I think it's because they swapped like 3 times in a row, and like the third one was like faster, because it's probably like to speed up the game if people are just like swapping a bunch. That's my guess.
Oh, the Psyshock is massive.
Psyshock will ignore that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Shadow Ball probably kills here.
Royce doesn't have a lot of good plays from this position. That was swap.
These spikes are nice. Oh, I don't like the
whoever
Terra.
Dragon.
Oh, that means it probably just
Yeah,
doesn't have
Yeah, you don't resist
Shadow
bullet
Ball
punch.
then. Yeah. If you resisted the Bullet Punch, you could have stayed in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Rocky Helmet.
Helmet,
That takes care of the
Helmet.
Scizor. That's good.
But still, your Raikou is a lot less effective at not. Switching in Rotom, this, I guess, technically lives too, but it doesn't live a Dragon Pulse here.
Has it been taking?
Yeah.
It's been taking.
It'll be Fizdef here. Okay, or a Surf, yeah.
Yeah.
It did not take rocks, right? So it isn't Ability Shield?
I thought I saw it take rocks. No, it didn't. Okay, never mind. It
No,
didn't
it's
take.
boots.
Oh, it was a Psy Shock. That's what it was.
Yeah, Surf makes quick work of the Rotom. Even though it was Fizdef, it's not a Psyshock switch, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Latios is so good, man.
They should buff Soul Dig again.
Yeah, true. Make it 1.5.
Well, now you don't have your Steel type.
Does Thunderbolt kill? Hold on.
Wow.
What percent is Latios at?
Latios was 42.
43.
Oh,
I
great.
do not think Thunderbolt kills.
Well, at like 36 or something here after burn.
33.
Oh, and Life Orb? 26.
Oh, and Life Orb. I
27.
still don't
Yeah,
think
Yeah,
it kills.
T-Bolt might kill here. If it does, I think you
Yeah.
T-Bolt for the Aloe switch.
I don't think it kills
'Cause
because
I
look how much this Terrablast does to the Aloe compared to the Moonblast.
'cause
it's
it's
like
AV Aloe.
50%. Yeah, but the Moonblast is like 50%,
Yeah, I mean, that's...
and it's a
is a
CM
different
Raikou.
beast.
I think that Raikou is probably like speed HP or something, and
Yeah,
it's
it
using
might be.
CM to boost its special attack. I don't think T-Bolt outright kills. I mean, it does.
Ooh,
to
kills
Aloe.
from there.
It does
guess
to
maybe it's not
Aloe.
AV then.
I meant Latios, to be clear. Not Tar- Aloe
I thought
definitely
it was
does
AV,
too.
maybe it was Boots. Zera's CC should kill here, though. Into
Doesn't kill
Dragology,
this
get the
guy.
helmet chip.
Ooh,
And
nah.
a knockoff.
Still gets the
Okay.
helmet chip once, and the poison.
The poison?
Is he gonna...
And the
Protect.
second one probably doesn't kill.
We haven't seen a single move from this Dragology, by the way.
How do you
Yeah.
guess?
Draco here.
Sludge Wave, maybe? No, Draco.
It doesn't do enough, though. Not adaptability, and Dragology is not that strong.
Yeah.
There's the
no,
Stomping
no.
Tantrum that was for the Rotom.
Yep.
And I guess it's also for Dragology at that point.
And I guess it's
And
also for Raikou.
I think that's
before
probably
Terra.
game. I don't think this
Yeah,
kills.
Get
Okay,
the
this
kill,
does
and then
kill.
Zera comes back.
Yeah, but Zera
Yeah.
kills with the knockoff here.
Unless you have Protect. No.
I think it still kills CC anyways. Really well played. Honestly,
Oh,
really
yeah,
GG.
you're faster anyway.
Yeah, I think it still held up to the hype. It was a really quick game though. That didn't feel that quick.
Yeah, they were trading like about every other turn.
Yeah. I
24.
think maybe
We didn't
an
really
area
pause
where
as much.
that's true. I think an area where Royce maybe could have played a little bit better.
It was
Maybe
boots
not
and
even
all.
played better. If I think just Raikou needed Shadow Ball for the
Yeah. Instead of
For
having to
Latios?
commit your...
maybe in
Turn.
that specific case, I guess.
Oh,
Like
it was?
Terrablast, Dragon Terrablast does more than Shadow Ball anyways.
That was
It was
nice
offensive,
attack.
yeah. But yeah, not being able to resist the bullet punch when Scizor came in, I think might have lost the game.
And I like trying to eat the Psyshock earlier too is a bit rough as well.
Yeah.
Maybe
have
it
we
lives
seen
without Life
Psy
Orb.
Shock already? What was the set?
And if
Maybe
it's like
it just
Spadef,
Because it had bulk up, because it could have bulk upped on the Krookodile.
True.
yeah,
Inside
see, it was
trade.
Spadef Annihilate, so maybe it lives a Psychic, but not a Psyshock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Life Orb probably threw his calcs.
I wonder
for
if
loop.
I wonder if it also lives like a Luster Purge. That
Mm,
might be too much.
I have a hard time believing that Luster Purge gets brought against Annihilate.
Yeah, with the potential to boost it.
Yeah, risking the Defiant.
Because you could
Yeah,
just
like if
be,
it's a
you could
Payapa
be
barrier or
AV.
something, right?
You could be AV as well, like if you really wanted to be no setup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Then you risk if it doesn't kill, you just give Annihilate with an Uber boost.
It did
Yeah.
look pretty shaky when Annihilate got the Intimidate boost from Crook, right? But then,
yeah, it was just
Yeah,
it
it
didn't
never
matter.
really
You
paid
just get outsped by Latios.
yeah. So something that's important, I believe Raikou and Crocodile were two Pokemon that had never fainted. Or maybe it was Raikou and Mega Scizor. Let me double check the standings here. I know we're not going to go too deep into the standings. Yeah, this was Crook's first feint and Raikou's first feint.
Wow.
They
Losers.
were two of the best Terra captains in the whole division. So,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, this was just like we expected. This was a clash of titans. Two of the
Hold
best
on, ignore this,
players
ignore
in the
this, ignore
divisions
this.
were going head to head, and I mean, I don't know.
They threw hands.
Mountains
I mean-
fell through this game, so I don't know. Really well played. Fun to watch. Really scrappy. A lot scrappier than I kind of thought. I remembered it being like an interesting positional game, and it was interesting positionally, but yeah, just very very offensive.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
I think I've definitely run this kind of Dragalge set before, like the Helmet, Poison Point. It's fun into things like Lopunny, like Mega, and like other physical attackers that kind of hit neutrally and not that hard. It's pretty good tech. It definitely does not hit very hard though. I feel like Draco's pretty tough to bring. You might want Sludge Wave, but I guess Draco and Latios might KO. The Haze is
Yeah.
interesting. I'm not too sure what the Haze is for. Could be something
Oh.
else on the bench here. Let me check Vios' team again.
Could be for like
Not
Calm
really.
Point
Mind.
A's. It could be for like Swords Dance Ogerpon, maybe.
Yeah.
But you just want to Sludge Wave it, right?
It could be
Unless
for
doesn't
Latios. It
do
could be
enough.
for like CM Latios.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty
guess-
Spadef bulky. Like it would, I think it would survive.
But then Psyshock kills you. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, being Fizdef, the Psyshock might not kill, but like a Draco would. I don't know, hard to say. I don't really see the Haze being useful. Maybe SD Scizor, but I feel like you just flip turn on the Scizor anyways, so
Yeah.
that's okay. I'm not too
Something.
sure there would have been a better move there. Maybe killing the Ogerpon would have been good, but alas.
Yeah. Could have been like T-Spikes as well.
Ooh. It would have been really nice. Anyways, GG, and I believe with that we can move on to our final replay of the day. We've got Jackie once again. We did just review Jackie last week, but we also wanted to take a look at Major Comeback, who we haven't reviewed yet this season. And
He's
I'm
been
really
doing pretty
interested in Major's team. This is the double electric with like Terra Jolteon with Coco. I think is pretty strong. Yeah, this is a pretty good Coco team. I think Nidoking is a pretty good staple for Coco. It's been stapled onto Coco teams since Gen 7. It's just a good mon. Obviously Valiant here. I do kind of have a problem with, like I've mentioned before, the core plus Vaporeon defensive backbone losing to other electric types that take advantage of the terrain, but like you do have 2 immunities, so it's not like Nidoking has to pull the whole weight there to immune electric. Yeah, really
Yeah.
really interesting.
Do want to
It
see
And-
just
that.
looks like there's a
let's take a
lot of
look-
pressure on Great Tusk.
Yeah, likely. I mean, into electric terrain teams, it's pretty likely. We
Yeah, it
see,
doesn't
I
have great
believe,
special defense either.
I
Is-
think it's Terra
Heatran?
Zam.
Damn. Because I think this is the
I'll-
second game in a
I'll double
row,
check.
actually. I think it is Zam, because it's the second one in a row where it was just Terrasect.
Yeah, it's Zam and Arctozolt. Sweaty
Oh, yeah.
Bios when gross.
Terra
Goat
we
Sola
got-
when needed is all you need, I've heard.
We got Water
Not
Jolteon,
sure what it means.
and that's it.
Water makes a lot of sense, actually. It beats Tusk, and it also beats Tran.
Goat Sola?
just stay
is
in
it
in
like
front of Heatran.
Cursula? Or Corsola?
Maybe, but there's no Corsola here.
There's not one pictured.
All good. I
Yeah.
I think for this kind of team it's hard to imagine anything but Coco lead. But that
Yeah.
does get very predictable, so you might want to lead something that's better into Great Tusk.
Maybe like
So
Vaporeon.
maybe even
Just-
like
if
a
it's
Life
not
Orb
Tusk,
Valiant.
just flips turn.
I don't think Vaporeon actually beats Tusk though.
I mean, can you...
I think you'd want to be offensive Valiant lead here. Corsola Galar when the matchup is bad. Oh, do you just have a Corsola in the back? I see. Oh, that was for when I was talking about your team. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Corsola is kind of cool. You have brought it twice, and it actually has a positive diff, which is pretty interesting too. So
It's a good mon.
it's all right. I've never
Oh.
really been like the biggest fan, but it's definitely serviceable.
It's good
So
for
we
his
see-
budget.
Heatran, actually.
Heatran into the
It's a
Vaporeon.
Vaporeon.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh,
So this is really good for
It's
major
Pikachu.
comeback here. Or Pikachu! Yeah, Jolteon's in. Want to zoom in here?
Oh yeah.
goes Terra Water.
Do we have the water Terra Blast?
Hey, it's Bulbasaur. Hey,
What
it's
a
Steph
read.
Curry.
Nice read from
Ooh.
comeback here.
We got
Double
Pikachu,
Terra
Blast.
Bulbasaur, and Steph Curry.
Well, free Volt switches.
Spoony
Yeah.
Bard. This is Terra Psychic, right?
Yep.
Interesting.
Not gonna
Maybe it's a Life Orb. Yeah, it doesn't hit that hard.
No,
I think
is
if it was Life Orb, it
Zam
would hit harder.
is Zam in Gen 9? I don't think it is.
I don't think so. So it doesn't have
So
Terra
it
Blast.
doesn't have Terra Blast. I mean, but it gets really good coverage though. Or not really good. It gets the
Not
punches.
really.
It's
It
serviceable.
has like a basic psychic type coverage, like Fairy
Yeah.
Ghost fighting.
And Thunder Punch.
Oh, take the leftovers. Yoink.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
You
see
kind of have to go
Crobat
Crobat
switch.
here. Oh,
Zam.
well, if I had gone
Wow.
Crobat, I would have lost it. So
Yeah.
come back
Sounds
with the good reads here.
A bit of a
This
skill issue.
Zam does not feel like it's hitting hard.
Yeah, it's
No.
Terra Psychic, and it's barely doing anything.
8%.
Jolteon's in. I guess you just
Is this
see
a
both here.
fat
There's no-
Zam?
Oh,
it's
it's a
Scarf.
scarf. Oh, okay.
Unless it's just modest Jolteon, but I feel like that's unlikely.
Yeah. So what,
Crobat on
Jolteon's
a Nidoking.
135?
Jolteon and Crobat are both 130.
Okay. No,
But
Zam's
Zam is
120.
120.
Yeah.
This was a choke.
This is a joke. I forgot I was slow Scarf.
Oh, you're slow
Eruption.
Scarf.
So was it Scarf Jolteon versus Scarf Zam, but Jolteon was modest?
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, to be fair, I would not expect Scarf Zam or Scarf Crobat here, personally. I feel like I would run modest if I ran
Well,
Scarf
it's
as
also
well.
it's not really a choke as long as the Jolteon's still alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the important
Like
part.
you still have.
Although
a
this
Scarf
eruption
Jolteon.
kind of, this eruption
Yeah,
kinda
you just always Volt Switch though.
bonks.
There's nothing to resist it, and you're making the eruption weaker if you stay in on it. Oh, Terra Blast though.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to have seen a Volt Switch. 'Cause then you can go Nidoking. You can just go
Nidoking
hard
probably
Nido.
Still just
Ah,
survives.
if Jackie got rocks up there, that would have
Would be huge.
been really nice.
Look, I mean, it could be Boots Scarf Jolteon. So
You knew there was Scarf because of Calcs? I mean, you don't know it's... There's no calc that shows that it's Scarf.
It's what?
I think it's
Power?
more just like it's not specs.
Yeah, I mean, it could be
Yeah,
Sash,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Lives.
Yeah,
Ooh.
kills. But Valiant should outspeed here. You just go Val.
I mean,
Or Jolteon,
also.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
and
you might
have
be able to
Electric
Rising
Terrain
Voltage.
up.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That
this
probably
should
just
clean,
clears.
actually.
Yeah, it
No
should.
Zam. Unless, again, it's fast Scarf Crobat.
But you're also not concerned about the ticket ton anyway. But no, it's not.
Well, interesting game. The Jolteon definitely pulled weight once again. This captain's been really ridiculous on this Coco team. I think, yeah, if Tinkaton had clicked rocks, if you can zoom out and take a look at the Tink set, does it have rocks?
Scarf Heatran had rocks.
Interesting.
No.
No rocks. I guess that's why, yeah.
Dang.
I don't know about the
assume
T-Wave on
that's
this. I don't think I like the Thunder Wave here. You're against 3 Pokemon that immune it, and Corv and Vaporeon don't really care.
why. Yeah.
And you can
And
just kind of
Jolteon,
Gigaton...
punishes you for using it too, right?
Yeah, and you can just Gigaton the Val. I guess, what else was there on the bench that... There's an Iron Leaves and a Cyclizar, maybe? But I feel like both of those you're okay to either stay in on or rock
Well,
against.
you you can use your fairy move against the Cyclozar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think T-Wave might have been not the best spring. Was
I mean,
did
to be
that
fair,
Zam even
that's
have
a pretty
offense?
standard. That's a pretty standard Tinkaton set, so it could just be kind of like a template sort of deal. Just
What?
being
Can
like,
you
oh, I
check
don't know
the
what else.
Alakazam set? It did. I swear, it just
Max
didn't
with
look
it.
like it had special
It didn't.
attack.
It didn't. Yeah, I agree with that.
It did nothing. So
Because that was
so
Terra Psychic. That was double stab.
was Vaporeon Spadef as well? Because it did.
It
and
must have been.
Corv,
I think
'cause it did like
it might have been
nothing to both
AV.
of them.
Where was it?
Can you check? Yeah.
It had to be AV, right? I know it's just lefties.
It was Spadef Vaporeon. What about the Corv?
Corp was
No.
no.
Dang.
But
it's
at least
only
Corv
took like
resists.
30.
Yeah, and it did like 20 or something.
Corv ain't Skarmory, so it actually.
Yeah,
has
that Zam
a
just felt
Spadef
really
stat.
weak. I don't know.
I think
the
it's because we're
Scarf
used
was
to seeing it
interesting.
with Life Orb.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's really just that Sam kind of got Power Crept and Psychic's not the best, like the most spammable type.
Yeah, unfortunately. Not that high base power too. I think we're also kind of used to like moves just having really high base power.
Yeah, at least like signature moves, they're just spammable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I like how
Unfortunate.
this is clearly. Imagine this is Scarf Usher, and then she says nope it wasn't, but it looks like she's saying GG's nope it wasn't. But then she says that, so it's fine.
True. Oh,
I didn't see
No,
this
it's funny.
part when I was reading this. I was like, oh, okay, BM, I guess.
Dang, I hate that it lost, but it was an enjoyable one. I agree. That was an enjoyable
Yeah.
on there, Jack. That was a good game. And where does that leave the two of them here? That leaves Major Comeback at 5-1 now after week 6.
Yeah,
And Jackie is now 2-4. 2-4, but only a -6 diff. Which is
Those were
not
some
bad.
close games then.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, this one we can see was. Well,
This
this
one came
might,
down
this
to
might have
two,
been the worst loss if it's
Or
minus
this
3.
came down to 3? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally have to lose to be at -6 after this game. You have to. Or wait, no. I guess your wins would bring you above. I was gonna say you literally have
Yeah.
to lose -1 in all 3 of the other losses, but you do have 2 wins to also push that up.
Yeah, it would have to be -3 in both of the losses effectively.
Yeah.
If this one's -3 as well. Assuming the wins counteract the losses, but who knows? Yeah, GG. I think like Rocks on Tink maybe would have stopped Jolteon from winning in that end game. I know that Showdown is weird with their rounding sometimes, so maybe Jolteon doesn't quite die to round.
What did it say? It was 13.
See, I always forget
I
exactly
wouldn't
how the
trust
rounding
that.
works. Yeah, but it still would have been nice.
Yeah. Well, it can't come in twice. Like you're not as much
Yeah.
as much of a risk of the just volt switching around.
Mhm. And what else did we see from Comeback here? They had good reads, honestly. The
The
Jolteon-
Thunderbolt read with Nidoking was really solid.
Yeah, T-Bolt on the Crobat. Well, I thought Crobat, but Crobat didn't come in. Was a good read. And the Jolteon just clicking Terra Water into the Tusk switch was also pretty strong. So,
Yeah.
yeah, well played from Major Comeback. Definitely deserved the win.
All right.
Okay, so I feel like,
Tuna.
Toady, you've brought up something special for us here. You had another replay.
No. This was
You loaded up.
It was because it was going to open in the same tab, and that's why I was saying ignoring it, because I'm trying to find this replay where I saw the really fast switch animation.
Oh.
Yeah, you find the switch animation?
No, and I'm wondering if it's because like if I skip to the turn, it won't do it. It
you
has to
gotta,
be like
like,
in
play
the
the whole
context.
thing.
Yeah, but it's also like a 58 turn game, so like I'm not like
Yeah.
watching through the whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, no, and it's not even from this. It's not from this league either. It's just like not.
Yeah.
It's not worth. going through.
Okay.
So
So
I have
no
it
special
playing
replay.
on my other monitor in case like I keep like sending it back to the beginning and just like seeing if I glance over at the right time. I know which mon does it.
Interesting.
I just don't know which turn it is. And
Yeah,
they're
I don't believe you.
in swap out a lot. So
Sure, man.
Anyway, we do want to take a look at some of the standings here.
yep.
So we might as well just start up with All
Oh, wow,
Stars
Swarm.
again. Yeah.
There you go.
And this Like, we've seen crazy all-star divisions. We've never seen something
This is
this
insane.
crazy. Look at from 9th place down.
Jeez.
Yeah.
There are 8 players
Nobody
All
with less than
tied.
2 wins.
at 2 and 4.
In the
And somehow
entire division.
Ginsuzu has only 2 wins and has +3 diff.
I was gonna say
2 and 4.
there's 14 diff difference between the top and bottom. That's still, it's not a crazy amount.
Sky upsets I'll be making playoffs after my 0-4 start. I mean, hey, it's possible.
Yeah.
And it really depends on how many of these 2-4 players play against each other.
Yeah, that's
At
gonna be
this
really
point-
important.
At this point, I think it's physically impossible to make playoffs with 5 losses. So everybody who's 2 and 4 right now has to win both.
Yeah.
Has to win out, and is going to be competing realistically with a lot of people at 4 and 4. It's even possible that the cutoff for playoffs is still 5 and 3, because there are 8 players right now with 3 wins or more. So, and
Yeah,
two
depending
more
on-
games still to play.
Depending on how it shakes out, it looks like Riceman and Jortson are the only locks for playoffs. Everybody else is kind of on the bubble, depending on how
Yes.
things turn.
I think they have
What's
to be
crazy-
locked because there's no like I guess Jorts and maybe
Jorts
not
isn't
diff.
locked.
Well, I think with his diff he's probably safe from some of the
I don't know. At plus
Maybe
10
not.
with 4 more wins than losses, I feel like that's
Yeah.
not actually that high.
Reisman's the only one that's guaranteed because he can lose 2 and he'll still have more, or he's still guaranteed less losses than,
Yeah.
6 down.
But Jorts could even, if Jorts loses 2 6-0s, he could be 5-3 -2.
Yeah, but you still have people. You have the bottom half that's
Fine.
4 losses that put him at 5 and 3. So worst, I think. He
Yeah,
gets
no,
8.
he is locked.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
That's
Nobody
you're
can
right.
get word.
You're right.
nobody can-
5 is guaranteed. Yeah. No, you're right. I don't know why I was thinking that. Yeah, you guys are right.
Because we're not used to seeing
okay.
just the same record for the entire bottom half.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, insane. But I mean, this is kind of just unprecedented. Like, we've seen crazy tiebreakers at 3 and 3 where there's like 8 people at 3-3 or like something like that by this point in the season. But there's just such a clear drop off. Like, nobody is eliminated at this point. Zeb is gonna have a hard time just through diff. Zeb and Polito, I guess, an impulse, just being so low. But like, they're all so close. Literally one differential separates them. There we
He's
go.
trying.
None of the bottom half can get over 4-4. Yeah, so 5-3 is locked.
Oh, I
You're
found
right.
it! I found it!
Oh.
All
You
right.
But this
found
is
the
the
fast
like
switch.
this kind of division to see because everybody's going to be trying their ass off late into the season because
Yeah.
there's so much on
for
the
sure.
table.
And there were people who had like 1 and 3, 0-4 starts who were starting to pull it together.
All right.
Okay, let's see this.
It's I think like it's like 2 turns after this. I wanted to make sure it like had build up to it so it wasn't gonna fuck up on me. It's this swap.
Yeah, it's because you switched out 3 times in a row.
So is that a thing? Is that a mechanic?
That's just the thing. That's a mechanic, yeah.
Why wait you say that when I said it, that's what I thought it was.
You didn't say that they were switching back and forth all the time.
I
thought
said
it-
that
you
I
just said there was a fast U-turn.
Yeah, you said
no
it
like
was,
a switch
fast- I don't know.
animation. And
I
I
don't
said
know.
that like it's possible that it's because they did it like 3 times in a row. But that, oh wait, that's the wrong thing.
Did you? I don't know.
Yeah,
if
you
switch too many
can
times
check
in a
the
row,
bot.
it
I
starts
said
calculating.
that.
I don't
Yeah.
believe you. You can check the VOD.
Okay, I've seen that before and like people
Yeah.
trying to like PB stall and like double switch
But
back.
that's not what we saw on stream, so I didn't think that's what you were talking about.
No,
You
I
didn't
did.
do
What
that.
we saw was just a fast animation in general, and I thought it was like just some weird quirk of a match that somehow like also was like carried over to the replay, like just some weird like glitch or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't see it. Anyways,
I don't think it was. I don't even think it was a glitch. I think it was literally just a normal animation that I thought looked like I like
Yeah, I
saw
think
it
it was
and I
a
thought it looked
brain
fast.
glitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's because it was
Um,
on my mind because I had just seen that. It's like, wait a minute, it's real. It happens in other games.
Self-actualizing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do we have to say about the All-Star division?
I mean, just
Anybody
6-0 in
were
All Stars
surprised?
is crazy in general. Like we didn't really talk
Yeah.
much about that. But
Raceman with the 6-0, that is pretty crazy. Definitely
think it
locked.
also-
I think I mean, technically, I guess he's not locked for number 1 because Jorts can go.
No,
7,
he's not
1.
locked for
Oh.
first seed. But,
Riceman and Jortson are playing this week.
oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's going to be a really
Yeah.
hype match.
And they are within diff. Like, I think like probably +4 or better. Jortson win would flip them.
Yeah.
Right.
Skyups is saying in chat a lot of these 2-4s play each other in the last 2 weeks. I'm noticing, so
A
that
lot
is
of
also
2-4s
really
too.
hype. So that is
That's
definitely
death row.
a do or die. Yeah.
Yeah, Zeb Camel play Gensuzu. Trano
But then
plays
what's crazy-
Camel and Zap.
What's crazy is technically
Zap is
5 losses doesn't eliminate you, does it?
I mean, it depends on exactly how many of them are playing each other. Like
It
Azzy and
depends
Sid
on
are
who's
both,
playing who. Yeah.
Azzy and Sid are both up here, right? Yeah. So like
Yeah.
Skyhawk
Yeah,
is
8, 3,
playing
and 5 could sneak in.
only playoff people. Camel, I think we saw was playing Gensuzu and Tranel. Impulse.
Yeah, I guess the fact that you have to play another player in the division does mean that 3 and 5 is
Polito.
very unlikely.
Yeah, Sid. Polito's down here. Yeah, Polito, I guess, plays Impulse and for someone else. I think Zeb played Gensuzu and Azzy. Yeah, so some of them haven't even split. It looks like everybody except Skyhops, I think, has at least one person down here that they're playing. Some of them have 2. Like Gensuzu's playing 2 people down here. I think Tranel's playing 2 people down here. But then like Zeb's playing 1 of each. Polito's playing 1 of each, or Impulse is playing 1 of each. Then maybe Polito. I don't know. So we'll have a better idea next week if it's possible to get in with the 3 and 5.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
very
exciting
true. We
playoff
will take
picture.
another look. We'll take a more in-depth look actually next week, in the next 2 weeks at least, where the playoff implications are very high. Obviously, right now playoff implications are very high, but
They are high, but
it'll
they're
be, like-
surprisingly
Yeah.
like still hard to discern, at least for this division.
I know. I mean, and the fact that only 2 people are locked and nobody is locked out means that it's still in anybody's game. Next week, I have a feeling that more players are going to be locked. A lot of the 4-2s might have an extra win, so we might even see 3 more locked. Unless, are any of Monkey, Zard, and Sid playing each other? I know that Monkey and Zard just played, but like, do either of them play Sid this week?
In the top. No, because I think Sid was playing 2 people down here that I saw.
Oh, okay. So it's possible then that next week we might see 3 more people locked.
Impulse and Skyhops, yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay. Well, yeah, this is really hype, and I'm excited to look at this again next week.
Yeah.
Onto our Hustle division, and we have
Hustle
another
Bios
6-0.
Is our well, we knew that one of them was going to come out 6-0.
Yeah, so he
Is it
did
really
just play
high,
Royce
though?
this last week that we reviewed today.
That is
And
crazy diff.
Plus
Plus 24?
24 means you're at least +4 per game on average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
And
we
they
just
were
saw
plus-
Crook's first feint. There's also a 10-0 Terra Driftblim that hasn't fainted yet still.
Well, it's a ghost,
So,
so,
I
like
mean,
it probably
pretty
fainted
crazy.
prior to the league start.
True. Very true. We do see, unfortunately, Kai Guy down at 1 and 5. He forfeit last week after not responding.
Damn.
I feel kind of, I don't know, something feels, I don't want to say slimy, but like something left a bad taste in my mouth because somebody mentioned that they were on Kai Guy's stream the other day saying like, yo, when's your NBA battle? He just said, I don't feel like playing it. And he just ghosted his opponent and didn't say anything.
It looks like 2 forfeits because the other one also doesn't have a link unless it just wasn't posted.
Maybe that's a mistake. Let me double check that right now. 1 sec.
It might just not have been added.
Let me check. Oh, they just double FF'd. They just didn't schedule. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It's something just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, man. When you just say I don't feel like it, and you choose to intentionally not respond. It's not like you're even busy sitting there streaming Pokemon.
Yeah, I guess I mean like it's a rough start to the season, right? If you're 1 and 3, and you don't really have a lot of like hope for the rest of it, but you should like if you're gonna do that, just like if you have to step down, I mean, People
Yeah,
can just fill
like
in.
I'd rather you tell me that you're busy, or even just say, "Hey, don't feel like playing. You get the win this week,
Yeah.
right?" Like I'd rather that.
Because I've been
Anyways,
in
I don't
that
want to harp
place.
on him too much.
Yeah, I've been in the place too where it's like, just because you're playing something else doesn't mean like, oh well, he's perfectly fine to be playing his match right now. Because there are times where it's just like, you can mentally not be in the space to like
Yeah,
play one of these games.
Yeah,
But
you
again,
get in
like
the
that's
hole.
where you just talk to you about it and say like,
Yep.
hey, I can't really do this right now, and nobody's gonna be like, oh,
Yep.
oh, he's streaming now. He's streaming. He lied about being busy. He's like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's
that's not the
necessarily
problem.
that. Yeah, it's when you don't communicate that's where it's an issue.
Yep, agreed. Like there's nothing that should remove the like human decency out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to like talk too much about it. I'm gonna maybe talk to Kai Guy about it individually, see if we can come up with something. But I don't know, I just left a bad taste. And it would be unfortunate to drop him off of a bunch of forfeits, right? Like he worked really hard to get to Hustle. He did really well in Truant. Did he? I think he won Truant in season 4, and then he did really well in Swarm last season too.
Well, I also wonder what effect that has, because like those people are also like getting wins, like the opponents.
Well, him and Strange Name had a double FF.
Oh, okay.
So crazy enough, we actually almost see the same thing here in Hustle that we had in All Star, where there are 7 people at 2 and 4.
Yeah.
And if let's just say the scenario where Kai Guy beats Strange Name in the forfeit in week 5, it could be in the exact same scenario with everybody being 2.
Well, oh yeah, because Strange Name also has a loss from that.
Yeah.
So he would still be 2-4.
Yeah.
That is crazy, and these are even closer in diff. Because last one, what did we say that it was last time? The diff
4
range was
people.
like it was like 14 or something was the range. Whereas this is like
4 people are
this is-
tied right
yeah.
now at -5.
9.
These are all tied, and then within 1, and then a jump of 5, and then another tie, and then the one person that's not tied in the record is 3 less. Which the forfeit is that 3 or 4?
3.
3. So theoretically, if it was like I guess it wouldn't have been a 0-0 more than likely. But let's just say undo that -3, make it 2-4, then you have 3 -10s as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, true.
that is crazy. And then also the 3-3 -4 being closer in diff to these 5 players than the other people with your record. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it feels like almost nobody's safe.
Yeah.
I know that. So Lethal did take over the roster that was 3-2, but he got a win against who was it that he played against? Matayoshi, right?
Yeah, we just watched that match.
Yeah, Matayoshi
Which one was it?
is Lethal.
Matayoshi
Just
and
beat Matayoshi.
Lethal,
Before.
right.
He was vying for a playoff spot. So I mean, Lethal beat a playoff contender. So I think he's kind of earned his spot in the division. At least
And it
for the
wasn't
season,
like a
right?
fluke. That was just like he played that game really well.
he
Like
just-
I mean, and even if
Yeah, prep.
It was close.
even if he did like kind of win some matchups there, like that's still just really good prep, or at least better
Yeah,
prep
absolutely.
than forgetting bring something to hit the Terra Fairy.
Yeah.
Ride
And I
through.
mean, hey, listen, Matayoshi forgot about the interaction, but Lethal didn't. Which, even if we say that they're the same skill level, but one of them forgot about an interaction and one didn't,
right,
he deserved
that
to win.
still means that you earned it. Yeah, it's you still won the team building battle, even if it wasn't like the craziest set.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vias. People are saying in chat, don't talk too much about
Vias.
don't praise Vias too much. Already has a big ego. I mean,
True.
there's a difference though between like people who just talk the talk and people who walk the walk. And Vias is walking the walk right now. He talks a bunch and is just a good player who backs up his talk. I don't know. It's
Yeah. That's why I stopped competing and I strictly talk the talk.
That's why you're streaming, dude.
Yeah. I prefer
And again,
to talk
we'll
the
see
talk
what
part.
happens during playoff time, because again,
That's why you're not a mod.
True.
We can expect you to talk the talk on
Professional
stream,
yap, but
but
I don't help
some
with anything.
ban guy that needs a ban. Okay, who else do we have? We have Drightway 2-4, Strange Name 2-4, Martin Radcow 2-4, Luke Nukem 2-4, Eager 2-4, Drix 2-4. Like, there's so many people here who.
Yeah. Eager's in the
it's-
chat too.
I mean,
or Eager
somebody's
was in
got to
the
be. Somebody has to lose. It just feels bad that
Who do they
all these
play?
good players are
Yeah,
losing.
do they play each other or do they play the top end? I feel like that matters a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, man, it's going to be so hard to demote people next season to Swarm. Wow. I feel like all of these players are just good players.
Yeah, even All-Star too. Like everybody was like pretty much on an even playing field for the most part. It
Yeah.
looked like. Same here.
Yeah, as I've mentioned before, though, for All-Star demotions specifically, we do have to be a lot more rigid with it. Where like, if you do poorly in All-Stars, see ya. You know, immediately.
Well, it'd be more like soccer or whatever, where it's like you just like there's a cutoff where if you didn't get the cutoff, you're rotated out for the next season, and then you have to earn your way back in.
Exactly.
I don't remember what it's called
to
in
try
soccer,
really hard
but-
every season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's not like
hard. You're expected to do
judgmental
well.
thing. It's just like you got to earn it, and when you're up there, there's always going to be a certain number of people that drop down. If you're below that cutoff, then these other 4 people get a turn, right? But
Yep. So even if it means that like Zeb has to get demoted, I mean, it happens. You know, and Zeb has been an all-star mainstay or a top division mainstay rather since season 1.
yeah,
He's never missed a season.
he's also had better
And, I mean,
teams.
maybe it happens. Yeah, true.
But you got to consider
true.
too, like the bridge between Hustle and All Star. Like, is it
Yeah.
that crazy?
It's
After-
closer now
No,
that
it's
we
not.
have 4 divisions.
Yeah. But like most of the top players I could see being there, and Glumley has been kind of teetering the edge for a long time. Afonso was all-star before. Kurumi is putting up a good show. Leezy won Swarm. Did he win Swarm or win Hustle last season?
He won Swarm.
Yeah.
Swarm, I want to say.
Swarm, because
promoted.
winning Swarm is what put him into Hustle.
Yeah. Lethal getting promoted, I'm a little hesitant in that because he was truant in Swarm and then just kind of happened to get put into Hustle with a decent record, like with a winning record. But if you win playoffs, that's a different story. And then Royce and Vias have proven themselves over a long time. So the promotions are there. Like, sorry, but bottom 4 of All-Star got to go, and a lot of these people have been vying for that spot for a long time. So it's only fair to rotate them in, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, I think we can move
Next
on to Swarm Division, and
we
we
got
have
Swarm.
one more 6-0 here. Actually, Penziska, not with as impressive of a diff as Vios' plus 24, but still plus 18. You're plus 3 every game on average.
Yeah.
Very strong showing. We see DJ Red Lantern already finished all of his games.
So is
He's
that
pretty
pretty
good
good
finish.
for playoffs?
He is coming back for playoffs.
He will
yeah.
be back. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Especially if we take a week break between week 8 and round 1, which might happen, kind of unconfirmed still, but
Yeah.
I think that was our plan. I don't remember. We've got to iron that out still.
Still no extensions, but knowing the playoff matchups by the end of that Sunday night, and then having a whole week before you have to like start planning.
Yep. So we do have Panziska up at the top. Panziska's
And I
had
think
a
that's
really
also
good
why
showing.
Mudkip has 7 games done. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
there
that
are a
was
couple
one of the
people with
2.
7. Tony has 7,
Yeah.
and I think those are games that were played ahead of time, like in advance.
I did not mean to jump.
They probably played DJ.
Yeah, that's
they
what I'm saying.
played
Like I think
DJ
those were the
for week
makeup
7 and
games.
8. Yep. Panziska's Terra Captains we loved from the start, right? And they've been proving really good.
Yeah.
Mudkip has been performing very well. I've known that he's had it in a long time, so seeing him at 5-2 is encouraging and exciting to say the least. Luki unfortunately just got a forfeit. He was 4-1 until him and Stella just kind of forgot to schedule last week, so unfortunate to see that. But he could have locked this week. It was a double FF. Yeah, they just didn't schedule. Fairs, great showing so far. You're not out of the woods yet. You do need at least another win to try and guarantee yourself. But this is definitely the kind of season or the kind of standings where 5-3 is not locked, as opposed to the others that like there's a lot of people with 4 losses. Like 5-3 is locked in the other 2. It's not locked here because there's people 3-3 who are under the 8th spot. So.
Yeah, and also worth noting that Bears at 4-2 has a worse diff than 2 people that are 3-3.
Yeah, so definitely not out of the woods. Like even if you lose one and Slingshot and Fairs win both, like you lose the diff war there.
Automatically below them.
Yep. Pabby
and really,
with a
you're
good
not that
showing,
far off from the
3-3.
-3. Like we have 3 people who are 3-3 -3. Like you lose a game that's I don't know -2, -3. And they all win a game that's +1, and you're behind them.
True. Major Comeback says Mazda desperately trying to drop down. True. I mean, people were laughing at Mazda smurfing the division, didn't they? And we liked his team too with the Terra Moltres, Terra Jolteon. Yeah, this team seemed pretty decent.
I think, didn't we watch a replay? Maybe it was the Metro game. Metro games are always RNG.
True.
I feel like I remember seeing a game where there was something unfortunate that happened to the Terra Galarian Moltres, but I don't remember.
Potentially. I definitely, like, obviously Major means this jokingly. I don't know. I was never convinced that Mazda was actually smurfing. I feel like after watching like some of his replays, and especially through the last season of the PWC that I saw him in, and just the replays on his profile, and the ones that he submitted, I don't know, it seemed like a pretty good fit. And I think going 2-4 isn't like instant demotion worthy.
Yeah. Well, and there's still 2 more games.
And there's still 2 more games.
Yeah,
exactly. So who knows? Now, if
So
he
actually,
bottoms
wow,
out and
wait,
goes
2-4
0-6
minus 1,
twice in a row.
2-4 minus 1 to 2-4 minus 8 tie.
But -1 is really high.
That's just a really good
a
diff for
2-4.
2-4, yeah. Almost
Don't
even
think it was Smurf
at
Div
2
3.
games
Yeah,
down.
so funny to call him a Smurf. True, I'm down. If anybody wants to bully Golden Mazda, I'm for it.
Bronze
We
Mazda.
love that guy. Bronze Mazda. Rusted
Bronze
Mazda.
Toyota.
No, you take that back.
I drive a Toyota, it's okay. I'm allowed to say it, I drive one, okay?
Okay.
Sure.
Let's see what else we have. Akant, I thought would kind of pop off, but he's right in the middle, still fighting for a spot.
Even.
Same as Atlas.
Yeah.
Atlas
Okay, this
was
is
demoted from
tied
Muscle.
for a playoff spot, technically. I mean, obviously we have
Yeah,
like,
all
the
three
strength
of
of
those.
schedule tiebreakers, but like
Yep.
the record is a playoff spot right now. Once again, by pure luck alone, Metro is in the playoff spot with 2 of the tiebreakers.
True.
It's the
Out
RNG
of-
factor.
Out of her hands. Yeah, it's the RNG factor, yeah. Corey at 0-6, man, that just makes me sad. I know that he's
Yeah,
had
I
kind of
haven't
the tough go of it.
seen. I haven't seen a lot of the games. Has it been just kind of like unfortunate stuff or like bad prep? Maybe not have a lot of time to prep.
I mean, you
This is
can
a
lose
solid
6
team,
times
just
in a
looking at
row
this
to
team.
good, like losing 6 times in a row to just like good games. I feel like isn't. It's just the playoffs don't, or sorry, the standings don't really show how good the games are,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Like the diff isn't even for being 0-6.
not that crazy.
You're only like what, like -2.5 per game or something like that.
We
Like
usually
it's-
see like at least minus like 20 to 24. I feel like for
Mhm.
anybody who's 0-6.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Corey just hasn't had it this season. I would be behooved to demote him to truant, but I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Sky
Again,
Knight,
2
not
more
the
games
greatest showing.
Still got to stay 2 more games.
What's
but-
kind of interesting is 4 players who were promoted to Swarm this season, with Dave Grigger, Tony, Sky Knight, and Corey, are all at the bottom.
Oh yeah, all 4 of them.
Yeah, maybe Tony. No, Tony was promoted.
He was, yeah.
Or, sorry, Corey wasn't. Corey wasn't promoted. Sorry, it was Sky
Corey
Knight, Tony,
Corey
Dave.
was promoted, I think, like a couple seasons ago, right? Hasn't
Corey
he
was
been
never
back and
promoted,
forth?
actually. He was
Oh, really?
demoted from Hustle a few seasons ago and has been
Oh, maybe
Swarm
that's what it
since.
was. Yeah.
Atlas was demoted, and Fairs has been between. Oh, Mudkip was promoted because Mudkip won Truant.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
but
you're saying
yeah,
that we should probably
Dave Tony
knock
is
Mudkip down here somewhere. Make it
Yeah,
fair.
I think we should demote all 4 of them back down.
Yeah.
That's who we'll demote. Actually, instead of dropping Corey down to Truant,
Yeah.
we'll just bring Mudkip back.
I
down
think
to
that
Truant.
makes the
Sorry,
most
dude.
sense. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, good call.
All right, good work,
Okay,
team.
that is our Swarm division, and we just have one more.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, though,
Yeah.
so Harry is locked for playoffs right now. Like we already know
Yeah.
that, well, I guess Mudkip could be 5-3, but we know that like 3 is like we right now.
If you have fewer than
There-
3 losses, you're locked.
There are 3 playoff spots for people who have 3 losses.
Yes.
So
So having fewer than 3 at the end of the season will mean that you're locked.
yeah,
And
well,
he's
I mean,
already played
these
all
2
the
are
games,
definitely
so-
locked, but
Yep, exactly.
But I'm saying Mudkip at least like even if he goes 5-3 at the end of the day, like I think he's still in pretty good shape, knowing that there are going to be at least 3 people with 3 wins. I mean, with 3 losses in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean if
Flux
Mudkip
Nine is
loses
amazing.
06, if he loses 06, he's 5-3 plus 3. There's already other people that if they just win plus
Yeah.
1, like Slingshot and Pabby, if they just win twice at plus 1, they overtake him.
Yeah, but you do have the
So he
3-3
will have to be
minus 3
careful.
squad
Yeah.
here. They would have to
So
overtake that.
if one of those people overtake Mudkip's like plus 3, it's pretty possible that he doesn't make it.
That's also like
He's in
only
good
if
shape,
he
though.
gets swept. Yeah, like,
Yeah, he's in really good shape.
yeah. And we don't know who plays who either.
Yeah, we'd have to like map it all out.
Actually,
and
you know, it'd be
everything.
crazy if
I'm not
one of
about to
them-
do that.
If Mudkip plays, oh, it's Lukey, who is already up here. Okay, I was saying, if it is one of these people and he gets swept, then like you've already guaranteed that you gave one of the 3-3 minus 3 people a plus 6, right?
True.
So, but,
Yeah, you literally just basically
like the
swap
one
places
outcome that
with
you
them
definitely don't want. But he's playing Lukey, so
almost. Okay.
not really fighting for the same spot. I don't think. I mean,
Can't
they're
win
already
2. I
fighting
need
for
to
the
go
same spot.
4-4 for the next stream. True.
All right, we gotta talk.
Because we got to talk about
Pabby.
Pabby again. Yep.
So hold on. What was it in Discord? What did you say? You gave us a script, I think.
Did I?
No, Pabby did. I said every stream is okay. It's Pabby is 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, but with discipline, good play. Actually, we didn't say that you were in a good playoff spot because you're tied with a bunch of people that aren't.
Well,
but
the fact that you have positive diff is really good
It
because
is,
there
yeah.
are 3 people who are below you. So, yeah,
So
you're
you're-
3-3 with a good diff. You're in a good spot.
yeah, I guess that's no notes.
Yeah, just
4-4
keep winning.
plus 3 to get in the playoffs. Yeah, there you go. Though I actually, is it possible for you to get 4-4 plus 3?
Yeah, if you
I
like
guess it
win by
is, yeah,
minus 1 or win by plus
Wait.
2 and lose by minus
Whoa,
1.
that would be crazy. Yeah, that's true. So I mean, you got to make it happen, right? Or else you just kind of like lied in the chat, and I don't think
Yeah.
that's very good.
That's the
You
script,
lied.
man. Nothing we can do. Okay.
Truant.
Yes, Truant. We see Major Comeback, who's here with us in #1 spot. Let's go. Much higher diff, or not much higher diff rather than Kemfrey, but a lot higher than good guy Greg. Although it's kind of impressive that Greg only has +7 at 5-1.
Yeah, that's
probably-
one full
probably-
sweep plus 1.
Yeah.
You have
Let me
one
check
loss.
what. Let me check what the diff was on Greg's
Do you guys hear that
because
thunder?
surely it was really high.
Did the mic pick that up?
Yeah.
That's like I think it's
good guy,
flashing in
Greg.
my window. I hope my internet doesn't go out again.
Yeah, Greg's loss was -5.
The one loss, but then that means that like every win was like +2 or 1.
There's +1, +3, +4, +1, +3.
That equals 7.
1,
All of
2,
that
3,
minus
4,
5 equals 7?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 minus 5, yeah?
Yeah, well. Dude, math is hard.
True.
I'm glad I already
Yeah.
passed school. I'm done. I don't have to remember how to do it.
Okay, what else
Yeah.
do we have? We see Elite Biscuit and PF down in 1 and 5, unfortunately. Now, I know that PF was kind of, I don't want to say like upset, but I guess a little bit disgruntled at the fact that they got moved down to Truant from Swarm because they were just demoted. But then they went and drafted this kind of like old team where everything had to have a dragon move.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
that?
the Dragon Move team, yeah.
Yeah, so then they made some trades.
Major should be kicked off Truant and then to hustle immediately.
In
I mean, Major's been good. Major's been good. No notes there. Like kind of like you said about Pabby.
Yeah.
It's
But also
yeah.
not the like
Yeah.
craziest terror we've seen in Truant. Like if we're talking about like emergency bumping people up a division, then who was it? Was it Karn or something? Or what was the name? There was somebody
Yeah,
who
Karnveer.
was yeah,
He
Karnveer.
was just terrorizing with Gyarados, right?
Yeah,
Where-
like
or was it
6-0
Gyarados or
plus.
Mega? I don't
It
remember.
was Gyarados. It was Gyarados, and it was before Terra too. It was just regular Gyarados. and just like
Yeah.
going absolutely dummy on people. He was like 8-0 plus 40 or something.
Yeah,
It's
but
insane.
like it's the kind of thing that like his play, I don't think was that much better than the division. It was just
No, it's the
everybody
fact that the
loses to
division
Gyarados.
doesn't know how to deal with a Dragon Dance Moxie Sweeper. Like,
Yeah.
oh, here's my electric type. He gets Earthquake. Oh no!
Oh no!
Like, what- that was my Gyarados answer. I didn't bring electric coverage on anyone else. But
And
it is what it
you
is.
get
I think
to
Truant in
accusate
general is also
someone of
better
Smurf?
than it was back then.
No, I
Oh
agree.
yeah, it's been
Yeah,
getting
sure.
better.
We
every
have
season.
enough regulars here now that like aren't completely new to like the concept of an actual like singles battle. But
Yep. And we actually have a couple like truant players who just didn't come back too, right? Like Sweets in particular is one
Sweets
that
didn't play
was kind of
again.
up for a promotion spot to Swarm.
And I feel
just
like
from
there were more
having
promotions than
consistent playoff
usual
records,
too.
right?
Wasn't
Yeah,
it
I mean
more
we had at
promotions
least
than usual?
4.
Yeah.
Partly because we had a lot of new players come in,
Yeah.
but we also had a lot of demotions. So for example, Kemfrey was demoted, Falk was demoted.
Well, we expanded
think- I don't-
the division though, because it was only
Yeah.
like 12 people before.
Yeah. I
So you
don't
had to get
remember
4
if
extra
Neon
slots.
was demoted or if he was already in Truant. I think he already was. C2
No,
was
Neon
demoted.
was definitely in Swarm like in past seasons. I don't know if he was last season.
Yeah, Neon's
Yeah.
been between Truant and Swarm, but same as Roy Ace, right?
Well, Roy I think was only in Swarm
He was in there, like, a
I think,
season?
for
4.
one season when Truant existed,
Yes.
and then he was Truant after that.
Yeah, because he won a previous season. He went up and
Yeah, he won
Yeah.
the first Truant season.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else is a mainstay at this point? I mean, Bobozab 2-4. It's fine. Cement, this is his second or third season at 2-4.
This is
that's
another.
Damu's
the
not putting
egg
up the
person,
numbers,
the egg
like-
enthusiast.
Egg Enthusiast is Damu.
Oh, okay. Right, I should.
Evolve.
The executor. Of
Yeah.
course.
There's a lot
Neon
of
has been
2-4s here
ranting and
too.
raving. Yeah. Neon has been ranting and raving about Terra Chansey. I
Well,
think
we
he's
saw
really
Rice
been
Man
enjoying
use.
it.
That thing
we
was
saw
a
Rice
menace.
Man use Terra Chansey.
Yeah. Falk has gotten a couple sweeps off with Terra Tandemos, or sorry, Terra.
Oh, where
Fold
was
as
our
well.
prediction? So. Oh, he lost his week 1. Okay, I was gonna say, did he go 4-0? Oh, I did not mean to click on
No, we thought that he'd
Why
like
is it, like,
win the first
stuck
few and
with
then
the
lose the
cursor?
next few.
that. There we go. Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if he started 4-0 and then if he ended up
It was
4-2.
pretty close.
like- yeah,
Pretty close. So we'll see what happens.
but
in the
he
coming week.
he got a win in
Yeah,
the
got
most
the
recent
dub.
week, so he's
Yeah.
beaten the curse at least.
And let's see what else we got. So yeah, C2 was demoted, and I believe C2 was demoted actually, but they're
think
putting up good numbers.
Was he doing
And what about first timers? Some newcomers. We've got Lilia at 3-3. Obviously,
Biscuit.
major comeback 5-1. I know that we talked about.
Jackie,
I know we talked about
Rosie.
Greg's diff, but this is, I think we've mentioned before, this is Greg's first like delve into competitive Pokemon. It kind of has an entourage of people.
I thought
in the
we said
background.
that
But he's been
Greg
doing
did
really well.
like Ranbats or at least like some other form.
Maybe I remember that Glittering Atlas did Ranbat before he started with Draft last season. But
Yeah, I don't remember.
but Greg's got that whole like entourage of people kind of behind him, like the like Skyhops crew and everything, right? Who are
Yeah,
helping
but
him
I
out.
feel like
So,
you
I mean,
also,
he's
like,
had
don't-
good.
You're probably not
tutelage.
friends with that group of people if you've like never touched.
I don't know. I think they're like an
Pokemon.
IRL friend group.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's crazy then to be 5-1. Yeah, I know. And some people are just intuitively good at it. And I don't remember. Greg, if you're listening, let me know. I don't know if you're in chat right
Or
now.
if any of
but-
your friends are listening.
or if you're watching the VOD, or if any of your friends know, yeah, let me know.
Who are
Stay in
you?
Discord. Yeah. Elite Biscuit, not the intro that they probably would have wanted, but it's all good. Yeah, the options, says Hops. Skyhops, do you know how much competitive Greg has played in the past? Because I'm pretty sure this is his first like draft experience, but was he on ladder or anything? Be good to know. This is definitely Rosie's first experience.
Yeah.
And I think just got into it because Fennec Master's into it. Yeah. Unfortunately, Fennec had the drop too, so that's kind of I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even
I hope they
notice.
didn't just like leave Rosie to the crows and be like, "Here you
I
go."
don't know. It looks kind of like
Carry
she
the
did.
torch.
We got 2
True.
losses in the last 2 weeks.
Fennec, how could you?
Completely abandoned. Don't know him very well,
Know him
so
very well,
unsure. Well, some friend
That's
you are.
All good. Toady the Hustle? Oh, maybe
Wow.
Pappy's onto something. When are
Well,
you
you know
coming
what's
back,
funny?
Toady?
Oh, it depends when Terra gets banned.
Bro,
Whenever there's
come
a new gen.
on.
I hate prepping for
Come
Terra, dude. It
on.
takes too much time. I do
Dude,
not
just don't
have.
prep for it then and you're fine.
Well, that's what I
Easy.
did in the last couple of seasons, and I just felt kind of bad because it was like I feel like it would be unfair to like put me in Truant because I feel like I actually would just win games brute forcing them without ever even clicking Terra in some matchups. But at the same time, like if you put me in like any division higher than that, I'm just like a sandbag. So like anybody who like gets me just has an easier matchup than like getting a different. I don't know. I just feel like it felt kind of lame when I had like the Urshifu team and I just didn't bring Urshifu to like 90% of my games. You know,
It's
because
Terra
it's just
Urshi, right?
yeah, it was Terra, Urshi, Rapid Strike, and then he got banned the next season. But like literally, like I didn't feel like using him. Like just so it's just like if you ended up matching up against me in that division, it's like you're fighting a low tier team basically. And then the season after that was like the monkey team. And then in PGA,
true.
I did them on a normal team. It's like I was getting to the point where it's like I have to do something weird to like make these teams fun. And I just think it wouldn't have been fair to like kind of like bag against people like who like want a legit like playing field.
Hey, well, at least in PGA next season, or maybe not next season in particular, but PGA in general has like low tier Terra. Is that at least
It's
better
better,
for you?
yeah. It's still just for me the reason that it's like this I would say goes beyond like my like dislike for Terra because like I just don't like Terra in general. I think low tier Terra captains are fine for balance, but it's still just the question of like the amount of like extra time it adds to prepping when it's just that like at least one mon that could be like a wild card that you just kind of like cover these options that don't exist, and that's why like when I'm playing in my like boomer league like with my like IRL friends where it's like we all had the same. I'm getting an alert about flash floods. Woo! I'm on a raised floor, so it doesn't matter. And we all like because we did a Terra captain season like a couple seasons ago, and every single one of us are like working adults, and we're just like we all agree that this takes too much extra time, right? Like as opposed to just prepping without Terra, and it's like we all kind of just agreed that we save like a half hour to an hour per week on building when you just can just build for what's in front of you, and I've kind of like grown to just really kind of appreciate that over having to prep for Terra because even when I'm like helping Metro with prep, it's like I can look at the team, I can give suggestions, and then we start talking about Terra, and it's like, dude, I wish I don't even know, dude. Like, maybe it could be Terrafire, it could not be. Like, maybe.
You'd save more time if you just said, we don't do a draft. We just take sample OU ladder teams and play each other.
Well, no, the fun part about draft is everybody having different mons, though, which you don't get.
Yeah, you can have different mons in like sample ladder teams.
But it's also like the draft still only takes like a week.
That's a lot of IRL time.
It's just the week to week thing, but it's like it's the same amount of time as a regular week of matchups, right? It's just
the draft. You think a whole draft takes the same amount of time as prepping for a game?
No, not prepping. I'm saying that like if we're scheduling this out, it's like there's a match per week, and then the draft is like the pre-week. So it's like it's still the same number of weeks. And it's like really only 1 week that you kind of have to set aside some time throughout the day to like set your picks. And then after that, it's like, okay, now I can invest in committing because you're still doing the draft. Like even if Terra is legal, you still commit the same amount of time to the draft. But then also every week you have an extra half hour on that time. Whereas without Terra, it's the same amount of time to draft, but you also get less time to prep. And it's really like, it's not that it's impossible. Like there is time to do it. It's just like, we all just kind of agreed that like none of us really want to do it. Yeah, no, it literally is. Like we like
yeah.
It's easier
to
to just ignore, like to not have to think about that and just be like, I can look at the type chart and know what coverage I need to bring. right? And like it's more it's a casual league. Like I much prefer that. And I think going back, and you saw Harry, his first game in back in this league, he loses because he forgets his Terra. Like
true.
But
I mean, I think maybe the problem then is coming from like you're trying to bring coverage for like don't bring stats. And if the Pokemon that you want to use rely on coverage, like that's just a generational adaptation that maybe needs to change. But like there's nothing wrong with
I think
we're kind of stuck in our ways. Like, you know, you can
it's
play
also
however
less
the hell you
about
want.
just coverage and more just like, you know how it can be when like a certain Terra captain, like, you know that this set, if they bring it, just like hard walls a certain mon, and it does influence what you bring to that match to make sure you have a check for that. And there's also still a chance that that doesn't come, and it's which can be said for any mon on the team, right? Like you could say like, oh, this mon completely walls me and I have to like build my team around it, and then it doesn't come to the match. Like, sure, that can always happen, but I just think that Terra like adds a couple too many layers to it, and also the assumption that your opponent knows that they have a, like, I don't know, let's say like I have Scorch this season. If you have Scizor, you know that I have Scorch, that I have a bug fire type with flame body that's going to make you bring pads even if I don't bring Scorch, right? Or like it's going to make you bring something to deal with that. When it's like a Terra matchup, you don't even know if that person thought of that interaction that you're like killing yourself over,
any kind
right?
of like the league with like skill level and just what your expectations.
Right. And in this league, it's I mean, in this league, when I say I mean my other league, like in this league that I'm playing in, the assumption is usually that they didn't think of it or they didn't spend the time to think about it. Like, and that's kind of where it's at, where it's like Terra just became this hassle, where it's just like you never know who is investing what in it. You don't know who's bringing the crazy stuff. It's just easier. And we all started with our first draft was the BDSP draft, which was like so vanilla because that game didn't even have boots. Like it was like that was as simple as it got. And I think that's kind of like the vibe that we like. It's just kind of like it's like playing Mons on your DS in high school, right? But and that's
I mean, I get it. I think there's something to be said. Like I said, I don't have a problem with a play group, especially an established play group that's been playing together for years. I know you guys have been playing for a long time together, and have just kind of grown to like your play group and etc. I do think there's something to be said about like staying a big fish in a small pond. You know, where like I get the vibe that Toady, you're one of the better players of your friend group, and like typically have good playoff runs, have good teams. Like, you know, like I think you're just like one of the better players. I think it's like it's completely your prerogative and your right to say, I'm fine where I am because I'm comfortable. As opposed to saying, hey, maybe like there's actually a higher ceiling that I could strive to. If you don't have the drive or the time to like grow and adapt to a new meta, I think that's totally fine, and you're like allowed to do that.
Yeah,
for me personally, I know that
like that's
totally cool.
Fine.
Right? Yeah, but I feel like for me personally, I kind of felt big fish, small pondy early in my like Gen 6 career, maybe early Gen 7 career as well, and that's when I started branching out. Leagues like I had a very similar friend group, right, where we just played like the 12 to 16 of us for like years, right? And it just felt a little like stale, right? And it was like, okay, the same like three people are just winning over. Like it wasn't sustainable, right? Like not having a fresh mix of people, and things kind of petered out a little bit by the end. So I don't know. I don't think there's a problem with either mentality, really. Just personal preference, really, of like what you kind of want from your game.
For me too, it's also like right now Pokemon's not the thing that I'm like actually pushing my ceiling for. Like I'm doing that in WoW. I
was gonna say, I remember you were saying you're
I was telling you, and I got that the other weekend. I got Gladiator, which is like one of, if like counting duplicate characters, like so like multiple people can be counted more than once. I'm one of like 500 people in the world who have it. So like it's basically top 500. So like that is like my focus, and also even like these streams too. Like it was when I was playing and doing these streams, and also playing in the other division. I mean, in the other league too. Like it made it. It was hard to like do it all. Whereas with this, like I would rather keep the big pond, the one that I'm just observing, and I don't have like the stress or the pressure of like performing in, because I learned something in just about every one of these streams just from you telling me something about like a set or like the number of times like
or how
I ask a
Switch
question.
animations working.
Yeah, that well that kind of learned like a week ago, but what did you say?
You just need to outsource all your team building like I'm doing.
True.
Well, that's the other thing. I hate playing teams that like don't have the mindset I like. That's why it also gets so stale for me, is because I use the same mods all the time, and so it was fine when I went from BDSP to Nat Dex over here to Paldea Dex over there to well, I guess this was Nat Dex Gen 8 before, and then it was Nat Dex Gen 9, and now over there it's we're doing Nat Dex Gen 9 because they wanted to try it, and I don't know if I'm gonna even want to do another one of those back to back, right? Like because my team is almost the same as it was as like my season 1 team here.
Let me guess: a Mega Venusaur, Infernape, Clefable, maybe even a Zapdos thrown in there.
So yes and no. So the Infernape is not there. The Zapdos technically is there, but it's in the form of Galarian Zapdos, which is also why Infernape's not there, because I have Galarian Zapdos.
True. Okay.
But Ambipomp's there, Greninja's there, Raging Bolt's there, which I guess he was a Season 2 guy. Mega Venusaur's there, Clefable's there. Yeah, it's a Toady team. But that's like why I'm also kind of holding out that like, oh, hopefully ZA maybe changes some stuff up, which I guess Arceus didn't because it didn't actually have like a battle system. But
there were a couple things that got brought over, and I mean specifically like Ursaluna was introduced and everything. Like and
like I think that was only Ranbats, wasn't it? It was like only Ranbats until it was still had to wait until Gen 9 to like actually be used. So like ZA coming out isn't gonna be when like the meta changes. It will have to wait for Gen 10 because that's the same with the moves. Because like move changes, some of them carried over from Arceus, but not all of them. Right, so like we still won't know like who actually got what until Gen 10. So like nothing's really gonna change.
If anybody else gets Stone Axe kind of thing,
or if Ambipom actually gets to keep Quick Attack.
True. Okay, well I think that's good enough of a tangent there.
If you can't tell, the stream's over.
Yeah, we've covered our 4 leaderboards. We've covered our 4 replays. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you're still here. Leave a message in the chat. It's good to know who stuck it through until the end. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Toady, thanks again as always for being around, and Stormtide, special thank you for being around today. Yeah,
keep an eye out for off-season stuff.
Yeah,
so, should be pretty
new
fun.
announcements on the way. And check out. You posted last night a 20-something minute video of you yapping. So check that out.
More of that'll be coming.
Yeah,
and he's open to criticism. So like, leave all the comments you want on the video.
Yeah,
we got Skyhop still here. We got Major Comeback still here.
Yeah, thank you guys for catching us. I imagine Bobby's probably still around. True. Good night.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Usually Mario would have cut us off by now. Like I feel like he would have stepped in at some point.
It's 8 o'clock Nahyma. He's got to do laundry now.
Yeah.
All right, go do that.
Okay, well, good thing Mario's... Oh, no!